Look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country. And if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from television.
But the people on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme. This is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election, I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formerly worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney. And if you want to really know the inside track on who the former president is, if he didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him. His former chief of staff, a four-star general, has said he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he is dangerous and unfit. His former Secretary of Defense has said the nation, the republic, would never survive another Trump term. And when we listen to this kind of rhetoric, when the issues that affect the American people are not being addressed, I think the choice is clear in this election.
President Trump, I'll give you a quick minute to respond here.
Thank you, because when I hear that, see, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people. Not so graciously. They did bad things or a bad job. I fired them. They never fired one person. They didn't fire anybody having to do with Afghanistan and the Taliban and the 13 people who's were just killed, viciously and violently killed. And I got to know the parents and the family. They didn't fire. They should have fired all those generals, all those top people, because that was one of the most incompetently handled situations anybody has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job, I fire him. And you take a guy like Esper. He was no good. I fired him. So he writes a book. Another one writes a book, because with me, they can write books. With nobody else can they? But they have done such a poor job, and they never fire anybody. Look at the economy. Look at the inflation. They didn't fire any of their economists. They have the same people. That's a good way not to have books written about you. But just to finish, I got more votes than any Republican in history by far.
Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the evil that men do. Father God, I pray and ask that you help me to have mercy on others the same way I would want you to have mercy on me. Father God, I also ask that you help me to be quick to forgive and slow to get angry. Amen, amen, amen. These young dudes out here don't respect shit until you put the barrel in their ear and let the text spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit, remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, Drake, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like fuck it, where my mask at? The mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything I learned in anger management. Hop back on some east side Danning shit and push a nigga's top back when I let the cannon spit. Start planning shit, premeditation. I'm in love with the streets again, rededication. Casket or cremation when I shoot you down. I was built for the smoke like a hookah lounge. I keep big shit that sound like a bazooka sound. And I shoot quicker than ain't gotta be a hoop around. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. Ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. Ski mask with squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Gun on me, it ain't never for show. Homie, I'm far from a bully, but I'm never a hoe. Get out of line, my Beretta will blow. Real talk, we can take the beef wherever we go. I bring it to your front door like I'm Uber Eats. I guarantee you listen up when this Ruger speaks. Plus I maneuver through these streets like a ghost. And I'm handy with the heat, I cook a nigga like a roast. On me, homie, this is not a boast. I will still come through, boy, and stop a nigga's post. Play him close, man, Eric will ease it. Quickly off the waistband, man, and Eric will squeeze it. Leave you niggas laid out dead or paraplegic. Niggas playing in these streets while I'm very strategic. I come to your house dressed like the gas man. Shoot you 9 times, leave you stretched by the trash can. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. Ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. Ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. I don't put shit on Facebook, I just holler in person. Put the pistol in your mouth while you holler in person. All that shit you kept rehearsing and put on your live, got your clap with the big 4-5. You bitch nigga, if you tell me to pull up, I'ma do that. That nigga who was whooping first nigga that I shoot at. Ski mask on my face, bystanders be like, who that? I ain't with the talking, bitch, boy, I thought you knew that. Leave his brains where my shoe at and bounce like I'm on a trampoline. Leave you laid out, nigga, like you camping on the scene. If you want something sweet, grab a peach or tangerine. Niggas won't smoke, well fuck it, I'ma let them handle steam. AR with the beam, you see the red dot? We tug on this trigger, nigga, it'll make your head pop. Blood pouring down to your shoes, call it Red Sox. Your brains hanging all over your shoulders like some dreadlocks. Expect the gang of dead off if they ever cross the line. The Lord said in the Bible, oh, revenge is mine. So I'm just trying to find a righteous path between the two. Before I lose control and do the shit I used to do. This being humble shit is new. I'm trying to turn the other cheek, but I ain't never been a bitch, so watch your mouth when you speak. Your mercy's what I seek, so I pray on bended knees. Don't let me get the K with the extended clip and squeeze. Lord, please. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps.
All right, everybody. Good afternoon. We back again in the house. We're gonna finish up what we tried to finish yesterday, but we only got 2 hours in. I didn't really want to go over 2 hours, so we're gonna try to do the same thing again today. Try to finish up where we left off yesterday, talking about the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and one of these two people, you're going to have to pick one of them to be your president. One of them, we got a horrible, horrible job in front of us, man. We have to pick one of these two people, and we have to select one over the other one. And that's going to be, it's hard because both of them have so many flaws. Most presidents have flaws, but, you can look at them and say, well, at least this is this and this is that. But these two people, man, holy smokes. What good can you say about either person? right? I mean, the only thing you can say that's a fact is that Donald Trump has the experience. That's a fact. But other than that, what can you say? So most people, you know what they do? Most people will select a president based on what they feel the character of the president is. If they think they have good character, they will select them, right? Or if they think they are totally committed to uh, a position that's going to help them in the future, they will select them. Excuse me, y'all. But in this case, we're not seeing that. Now we know both of these people are for the well. I'll tell you what. Let me take care of this business first, and we'll get right to it. Shout out to Brother Eric. Shout out to Brother Eric, better known 16 to Life. Let us use his music. Go ahead and go to his channel, 16 to Life, the YouTube page. Check him out. He's got a lot of skits, a lot of funny skits, a lot of music, man. Good dude, man. Just a good dude. Go check him out over there, 16 to Life, the YouTube page. Check him out over there. All right, that was Brother Eric. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Let's check everybody in and then let's get right to work. First one on the docket is Von Bryant. Von Bryant's in the house. Shout to Von Bryant. Says greeting, peace, joy, grace, and abundance. Me and Von didn't see eye to eye on a couple things about Kamala Harris. But, you know, Vaughn said we're going to agree to disagree. I said, okay, Vaughn, we're going to agree to disagree. But shout out to Von Bryant. Good brother, man. Good brother. Glad to have him here. We got Anthony T-Biz. Shout out to Anthony T-Biz. He's coming over from the village, Bolo TV, the village. Shout out to Anthony T-Biz. He's in the house. Man, good brother, man. Good dude. Good dude. I'm sure he has a lot to say about this topic. Next, we got Bolo TV in the village. Shout out to Brother Bolo TV in the village. Say blessing to you, Bro C, and your family. Same to you, brother. Appreciate you. And everybody in the village. Blessings to all of them. And you know, everybody in our chat too, man. All our people too. Blessings to everybody, man. Bolo, another good dude. Who else is in the building, man? I think that's everybody that wants to be. Well, let me look down here. Oh, we got Sister Enya, the poetess. Sister Enya, the poetess. Say, hey, bro, see in chat, Trump for president. Ha, I'm not voting because there are two wings on one bird. Yeah, that's what Malcolm said. You see, Malcolm X said the Democrats and the Republicans are two wings off the same dirty bird, right? But anyway, that's Sister Enya. Shout out to Sister Enya, the poetess. Who else is in the building, man? I think that's everybody in the building. I'm doing good, Bolo. I'm doing good, man. I gotta call you later on this week, man. But just holler at you for a minute. But I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. God, look, man, I'm susceptible. I have what they call adenoids, where I'm very susceptible to nasal disruptions. So, you know, I always run around with a little nasal thing. Now, the rest of my body is fine, but I had this little nasal thing, and it's hard to breathe through my nose sometimes. So, y'all will hear me like I sound today. Like I'm good, but that's the issue right there, right? Well, I said it's all good. I don't put my trust in any of them. Thank you, Suzanne. Appreciate you. Yeah, I feel better. I'm doing fine. I'm actually really doing a lot better than I was about 6 to 8 months ago. Feeling a lot better, man. I was working out with these youngsters, man. I was working out with these youngsters on Monday, man. Wow, man. They had the old man huffing and puffing out there, man. He was out there punching and, you know, working out with the bag, working out with the gloves, man. And, woo, they had the old man huffing and puffing. I remember I used to throw punches like that, and I wouldn't need a problem, man. I could throw lots of punches like, man, had me like, because they, you know, they're young, they're moving around, right? So you got to stick and move. Woo, bro, C got a lot of ground to cover. But hey, I'm here, man. It was a good little workout. Got a little sweat on. But anyway, I'm good. Hope you guys are better. Okay, let's get to it. Because, you know, I got some bad news for you. you got to pick one of these people. You have to pick one of these people to be your president. You got to pick one of them. Shout out to Brother Jeff Short. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you in the building, Jeff. Hope everything is going good with you and your family, man. Jeff said, good evening, Brother Clarence in the chat. Yeah, Jeff's a class act, man. Yeah, man, you got to pick one of these people. You got to pick one of these people. One of these people is going to be called the president of the United States, right? And it's not no easy. You know, usually it's a little easier because you got to get the feeling on the character of the person, right? Which one of them got character you can you can pick up on, man? Both of them are heartless. They're heartless. And what are you gonna do? It's basically Donald Trump trying to make her look like she's not on the same page as him, and her trying to show that she's different than him. I mean, but they're all the same. They're both the same. They're both the same, have pretty much the same position on almost all of these subjects. And he tries to make her seem just because she's in the Democratic Party, he tries to make her seem like she's like wants no policing. She is very heavy policing, man. She used to be the Attorney General in California. She is very pro-police, very pro-police. He just looks stupid saying, I mean, he doesn't, I don't know if he knows her or he's just not listening to his intel, whatever. She's basically the same person. Just hasn't had the time and experience to tell all the lies, right? So then you say, so if they're both heartless, proceed, why vote? This is a general troll question. I know. Okay, Sister Anya, you have to pick somebody. Or you don't have to. You could just not vote. But not voting, see, people think this is why I say you should vote. Even if you write somebody in, Sister Anya, right? And you write somebody in, write Von Bryant in, right? Let's all vote for Von Bryant, right? But I'm saying you have to pick someone, because what you do, if you don't vote at all, you're voting for the most popular person. And at this time, it'll probably be Donald Trump. Your non-vote is a vote for Donald Trump. That's effectively what's happening, right? I know people don't like to look at it that way. They just, it's one of those things where people eat sausage, right? But they say, don't tell me how you made the sausage. I don't want to know how you made the steak. Just give me this steak on a plate. Give me the sausage on a plate, right? Just give me the sausage on a plate. Because they don't want to know what's happening in the background, right? But I'm saying this is what's happening. If you don't vote, it's effectively a vote for the more popular person. That's basically what's happening. So you could say you're not voting, but your non-vote is basically a vote for that person. That's all I'm saying. So don't think if you're not voting, I'm not in it, I'm not doing it. My non-vote has no effect. Oh, it definitely has an effect. It definitely has an effect. Shout out to our Sean. By the way, I forgot to say this yesterday. If you guys haven't already subscribed to Critically Drinking, like drinking like a soda pop or something. If you haven't already subscribed to Critically Drinking, go on over there and subscribe to them. Just go over there and see Arshawn and Bree and Yella over there and check them out, man. You know what I'm saying? They have a different way of looking at things a lot of times, right? Arshawn said Kendrick or Drake who won. Well, everybody says Kendrick won, but who knows, right? Juan says, I'm going to draw a picture of a cross. And he said, no, that's not it, Clarence. That's not, my non-vote is not a vote for Donald Trump. Yes, it will be. It has, well, but it's like, it won't be it's not a intentional vote for him. It's a unintentional vote for Donald Trump because he's probably the more popular candidate. And your non-voting is going to always, if you don't vote, it always has the effect of a vote for the more popular candidate. That's the effect of it. Well, I didn't do it. Okay, so you didn't do it. But that's the effect. I was trying to say, oh my gosh, why I have to walk in and hear that? Why is my non-vote for Trump? Why can't my non-vote be for Kamala? Because she's not the more popular candidate. If she was the more popular candidate, your non-vote would be for her. But the people that don't vote, that is in effect a vote for the more popular candidate. And I believe, this is my opinion, that Trump is the more popular candidate. He's just more popular. He's not, I don't know if he's more liked, but he's a more popular candidate, right? And he says, bro, C, come on now, I disagree so much with this. Well, I mean, you can disagree with it, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? If you don't vote, if you vote for Kamala, you voted for Kamala. That's one vote that the popular candidate didn't get. If you vote for Trump, you voted for Trump. He got that vote, right? But if you don't vote, if you just forget not vote altogether, that is a vote for the more popular candidate. That strengthens his run. And I don't see why people don't see that. What's so hard about that? He's the more popular candidate, right? If you don't vote, then that is a vote for him. Because all things being as equal, the more popular candidate is going to get the more votes. So if you don't vote, the more popular candidate is still going to get more votes. The only way the less popular candidate is going to get more votes is if you vote. If you vote for her or vote for them, right? Sissy said, amongst black women, she is though, right? I don't know. See, this is a sticky thing with women. Women say, yeah, they're for a woman until it comes to real power like that. Then they say, oh, no, we need a man there. A lot of women will do that, right? Right? What's her name? Hillary. Hillary had all these women behind her. But Donald, man, just wiped the floor with her, right? I mean, lies and all. He wiped the floor with her. Let's see. I was trying to say, oh no, not like BB. I just feel like we were in here last night, but my sense of time maybe. Cecily said, I just think both of the parties are horrendous. They are. They definitely are. But like I said, central government is not supposed to take care of the common man. Central government central government has things that they're supposed to do. And the founding fathers knew that. They didn't want they didn't want the central government getting involved with you getting jobs and loans and all that. They didn't want you getting involved with all that stuff through the central government. But we're here now, right? The central government's supposed to take care of the roads, the airplanes, the transportation. They're supposed to make sure everything is safe, make sure people are following certain hiring guidelines, certain, they're supposed to make sure you're getting your civil rights, right? Or what is called civil rights, right? They're supposed to be preserving all of those rights, right? But they're not supposed to be getting involved in your personal life. But here, if people try to get into their personal life, right, they're trying to get you to have the government be involved in your personal life. So then he said, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I'm voting for that guy, Kabbalah. I can't do it. I'm not telling you to vote for. I'm telling you, you got to find somebody, which one of these people to vote for, or you're not going, or no vote. But I say, don't waste the vote. Write somebody in. Write Von Bryan in. Write Bolo TV in. Write T-Biz. Write Arshawn in. Write somebody in. Right? Don't waste the vote. Because at least that's one vote that the popular candidate ain't going to get. If you don't vote at all, makes the popular candidate that solidifies his or her position, right? Man, I don't know where she, Arshawn. I don't know. Maybe she has some schoolwork to do. Maybe she got tired of this conversation, right? Let's see. Vaughn said, Democrats or Republicans, take your pick. That's basically what you got to find. Now, if you're not going to vote, or you don't want to vote for either one of these people, vote for somebody else. Vote for someone. Green Party, somebody else. At least Donald Trump won't get that vote. At least. But most people ain't even going to take the time to do that, right? Shout out to Sister Annie. Excuse me. There she is, Arshawn. So then he said, so wait, so I could write anything I want on the voting card? Yeah, well, I mean, I forgot, but I thought you could write somebody in. I thought you could. Maybe you can't do it anymore. But they have other people on there, right? They got the Green Party, the Independents. They got somebody on there, right? Somebody else you can vote for. It just ain't gonna be just these two people, right? I'm saying one of these two is going to win. One of these two people is going to get the crown and the scepter. Which one do you want? You want Kamala Harris with no experience? Or do you want Donald Trump? At least has some experience. But he's a lying sacker, you know what? But so is she. So which lying sacker, you know what, do you want there? At least this lying sacker, you know what, has experience. Right? that might be the tipping scale. That might tip the scale, right? India says, I'll put the entire chat on the card before I vote with Kamala. Yeah, Kamala Harris is she's a piece of work right there. She is not much worse. I mean, not much. I wouldn't even say better than Trump. She's just not as known. Her misgivings is not as known as Trump. Trump's misgivings are way known. Right? Kamala Harris misgivings, if you haven't really dug into her, you won't know about these people that she wouldn't sign off on letting them test this DNA so they could let them out of jail. She stopped that, I think, about 6 or 7 times. The one dude had to go to the Supreme Court to force her to do it. And that's just one incident that she did. Very pro-police. I don't know. See, but I guess Trump has to make, certain people in America scared of her by saying, oh, she wants to defund the police. Man, she is very pro-police. Very pro-police. I don't know why he's saying that. Well, I do know why he's saying it. He's trying to sell it, but she's very pro-police, very pro-police union. She's very pro-police. So then he said, bro, see, I know I supported you from day one, but this, I'm pushing back. I'm sorry. I have to talk to you about the truth. I have to tell you the truth, Sister Annie. I got to tell you the truth. That's the problem I got, man. The problem guys like me, guys like Bolo, guys like Anton, Antibiz, Vaughn, we got to tell you the truth. And unfortunately, the people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear a song, right? They want to hear a sweet song, right? They said in the Quran, you want the prophet to tickle your ear, be pliant, right? What do you mean pliant? You mean you want him to bend? You want him to bend? Oh, I got this excuse why I can't follow God's word. Okay, here, well, here, let me make an excuse for you, and let me make an excuse for you, and let me make an excuse for you, right? He said, but the messenger, the prophet's not pliant. He can't be. It's not his. He's not representing himself. He's representing somebody else, right? He's representing the God. Right? We can't be pliant with this stuff, man. Your life is on the line. Not you personally, Sister Indy, but I mean, the people's lives are on the line. We gotta tell them the truth. Now, if they choose to hide their head in the sand, you know what the ostrich do? Lion come running at them, they just put their head in the sand and they think they're out of, if they can't see the lion coming, they're out of danger, right? And that's not true. We all know that's not true, right? Since he said Donald Trump told millions of people to insert in their bodies during COVID. See, we know Donald Trump is crazy. We know that. He is out of his mind, man. He's too. I mean, he's talking about Joe Biden like he's in respite or something. But damn, Trump ain't too far behind him. Let me see how old Trump is. Let me see how old Donald Trump is real quick. I think he's in the 70s. The Donald, 78. He's 78 years old, right? The Donald's up there. Let's see. It's sad that this is what we have to choose from. Yeah. Shout out to Scorched Earth, by the way. Scorched. So we're gonna talk about. You might want to hang around for this with Scorched. As soon as we get done with Donald Trump and Kamala, we're gonna talk about this. Tyrese going to jail for not paying child support. We're gonna talk about that. Let's see. So who you voting for, bro? See, I don't know yet. If I had to say who was a stronger candidate right now, I'd have to say Trump. I'd have to. They're both liars. They both no good, and they both are pro. Foot on that neck for us, right? They both are pro for that. So it really does not gonna make a difference for us, either person. I'm trying to find if there will be. Either, it doesn't matter, either person. Both of them are for the rich. Both of them. So they're both gonna do Reaganomics, right? They're gonna do the trickle-down theory where if you put money out there for rich people to borrow and put to use to build businesses, then them building those businesses are going to make more jobs, and more jobs are going to help the economy. That's their thinking process, right? Because if you give money to the poor ain't going to build businesses. The poor ain't going to build business. If they do build business, it's going to be like a one-man show, right? Hot dog stands or something. They're not going to employ 50, 100, 200 people. So this is what they're thinking. Scorcher said, forget about the stuff we do see. We know as believers that neither one of them are worth a damn. Why y'all not talking about Ivy Hillard and his wife? Well, Scorch, come up here later and tell us about it. I don't know nothing about what you're talking about. Vaughn said, are they the only two on the ballot? Is there another? Oh yeah, there's gonna be other people on the ballot, other parties on the ballot. Vaughn, just vote for somebody else. If you're really that disgusted with both of these two, just vote for somebody else, right? As long as you're not giving somebody a vote, right? Don't give Donald Trump a vote. Let him earn it. Don't give Kamala Harris a vote. Let her earn it. Tell us what you're gonna do. Did either one of them tell us what they was gonna do for anybody? We already know, since they are already rich people, they're going to take care of the rich. We already know that, right? We already know that that's what they're going to do. So therefore, we don't need them to tell us, hey, by the way, we're going to take care of rich people. We already know you're going to do that. What are you going to do for the common man? What things are you going to do that's going to affect the common man and put the common man in position to live better? That's the main question we should ask both people. But they never answer that question. They never answer it. All right, let's get back to the Donald, and he's explaining, I forgot he was telling something, but we'll see.
In fact, I got more votes than any sitting president in history by far.
Let me continue on immigration. It was what you wanted to talk about earlier. So let's get back to your deportation proposal that the vice president has reacted to as well. President Trump, you call this the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. You say you would use the National Guard. You say if things get out of control, you'd have no problem using the U.S.
With local
military.
police, yes.
You also said you would use local police. How would you deport 11 million undocumented?
How you gonna use the local police? That's not a local police job. Now you gonna have them doing a job they're not getting paid for. These police unions gonna go crazy. That's like taking a fireman and said, "Okay, you a fireman, but we're gonna have you, chopping firewood for these people that's cold up here in the, in the mountains." My job ain't chopping firewood. I'm a firefighter. But he gonna take local police, right? The police unions they ain't gonna let that happen. Why? Why, Clarence? Why can't he use the local police? Because that's not their job. They're not supposed to be working. They're not supposed to be dealing with immigration. That's not their job. They're not getting paid for that. Unless they have them swear in as INS people. They're not getting paid for dealing with people with immigration status. The police union stop that in a heartbeat. But that's my estimation of what's going to happen with that. I should say I'm voting for the Bryant ticket. Jamal and his two brothers, Vaughn and Greg. Jamal for president, or VB for vice president. Greg will be on an appointment. Why not VP? Why not Vaughn for president? Why not? You want Jamal to be president? You better, man, you better hold on to your wife. At least if Vaughn is president, man, things that go sideways. Vaughn ain't gonna be running up in our house trying to get our wives, man. Jamal, I need to lay hands on you and give you this weed and lay hands on you. All right, let's get back to Trump, man. And Trump is on this immigration, man. And this is one of his stronger positions. So let's see how he handles it.
Documented immigrants. I know you believe that number is much higher. Take us through this. What does this look like? Will authorities be going door to door in this country?
Yeah, it is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many millions of criminals. They allowed terrorists. They allowed common street criminals. They allowed people to come in, drug dealers to come into our country. And they're now in the United States and told by their countries like Venezuela, don't ever come back or we're going to kill you. Do you know that crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down? You know why? Because they've taken their criminals off the street and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But Vice
Excuse
President
me,
Harris,
the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the...
Uh-oh. The FBI is lying now, right? The FBI is lying, Donald? The FBI is lying. Holy smokes. It's called the FBI liars. But he'll get away with it, man. This dude will always get away with it. Why? Because he's the Donald. And they let him get away with it. See, you're going to see so many times. I'm going to tell you, man, she had an opportunity to crush this dude, man. You just lop his head off, right? Especially when they brought up his criminal record. She could have just took that alone and just lopped his head right off, right? No. But she reminds me of just a silly soldier, right? Why are you gonna strike a blow on your opponent that's trying to kill you? You strike a blow on that person, and then you let them get back up, and then you kick their weapon back over to them. That's stupid. You're dealing with a vicious liar. She needed to take his head off. Because you see he had no problem taking her head off. Whoosh. Once again, whoosh. He just kept lopping it off. Right? In my opinion, at least. All right, let's continue a few more minutes with Trump, and then we're going to be done with this.
Cities with the worst crime. It was a fraud, just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be a fraud.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President Harris.
Well, I think this is so rich coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing.
See, she should have just kept going with that. She should have just kept going with that, drove him into the ground. She just drove him into the ground. But you know why she didn't do it? Because she got some skeletons that in her closet that she didn't want to get brought up. So she didn't go that hard on him. Meanwhile, he just took her out. Why? She gonna let him get up.
And let's be clear where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law and respect for law enforcement. The former vice president called for defunding federal law enforcement, 45,000 agents, get this, on the day after he was arraigned on 34 felony counts. So let's talk about what is important in this race. It is important that we move forward, that we turn the page on this same old tired rhetoric and address the needs of the American people, address what we need to do about the housing shortage, which I have a plan for, address what we must do to support our small businesses, address bringing down the price of groceries. But frankly, the American people are exhausted with this same old tired playbook.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
Excuse me. Every one of those cases was started by them against their political opponent. And I'm winning most of them, and I will win the rest on appeal. And you saw that with the decision that came down just recently from the Supreme Court. I'm winning most of them. But those are cases, it's called weaponization. Never happened in this country. They weaponized the Justice Department. Every one of those cases was involved with the DOJ, from Atlanta and Fani Willis to the Attorney General of New York and the DA in New York. Every one of those cases. And then they say, oh, he's a criminal. They're the ones that made them go after me. By the way, Joe Biden was found essentially guilty on the documents case. And what happened in my documents case? They said, oh, that's the toughest of them all. A complete and total victory. 2 months ago, it was thrown out. It's weaponization, and they used it, and it's never happened in this country. They used it to try and win an election. They're fake cases.
President Trump, thank you. A really quick response here, Vice President Harris, on this notion of weaponization of the Justice Department.
Well, let's talk about extreme and understand the context in which this election in 2024 is taking place. The United States Supreme Court recently ruled that the former president would essentially be immune from any misconduct if he were to enter the White House again. Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Someone who has openly expressed disdain for members of our military. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails, because certainly we know now the court won't stop him. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop him. It's up to the American people.
Vice President
stop
Harris,
him.
thank you. Lindsay?
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of
Okay. All right. All right, you guys. I think we got the idea. I mean, let me wrap it up for you real quick. Neither one of them said anything about what they are going to do or aren't going to do. They were basically slinging hash at each other. That's basically, we didn't find out, oh, well, what's your position on it? We didn't find out anything, really. So how can you make an informed decision? It's difficult, but they don't want you to make an informed decision. They want you to make a decision based on your feelings. Your feelings. I feel Donald Trump is better. I feel Kamala Harris is better. Both of them are trash. But what can you do? You got to go with one or the other. One of the other one is going to be in the driver's seat. One of them is going to be in the cockpit. You can either help one or not help them. I say not help them. Yeah, you're right, Bolo. An emotional choice. That's what they want you to make. Why? Because people tend to stick harder with emotional choices, right? You make a logical choice, you go, damn, I messed up. Okay. But with an emotional choice, you still going, if it's based on emotion, you still will ride with it, even though you know you riding the wrong way. I'm still gonna ride with this, even though that's the wrong choice. Yes, I'm riding with it. I remember one time I saw this show where they had this dude. He had arped this chick. He arped this chick. It's kind of like To Kill a Mockingbird. He arped this chick. This white dude arped this white chick, right? So the dude blamed it on a black dude, right? The girl blamed it on a black dude because she didn't want to see the white boy go to jail. So she said, yeah, this black dude did it. They didn't try to get no evidence or nothing, man. They just hung this dude, right? They went to his house. Group of white boys went to his house, pulled him out of his house. Old picnic, right? He just picked the nigga, hung him on a tree, and just hung him, right? He's dead. They couldn't prosecute nobody. Why? Because, excuse me. I take that back. They did not hang him. They drug him to the police, and the sheriffs arrested him and convicted him. They arrested and convicted the dude, right? No evidence, nothing, just based on the girl saying he's the one that did it, right? So they went to the father later, and the white boy went to jail over something else later, and they got DNA, and they got his DNA, and they proved that he was the one that actually did the arping, right? Then the white boy confessed. He said, I'm the one that did it. I did it. He's been sitting in jail for 20, 30 years, whatever. The black dude been sitting in jail for 20, 30 years. Oh no, the white boy became a Christian. He became Christian, so he started telling, hey, I did that. I did this. I did that. You got an innocent man sitting in jail. And they proved it. And even though they proved it, the white girl's father said, nah, he's the one that did it, the black dude. And they said, but this dude confessed to it. He confessed to it. He got the DNA for it. He said, I don't care. The black dude did it. See, you just rolling with the card, right? You just, rolling with the card. Whatever the car say he gonna do, he gonna stick by it, right? But that's how they want us to be. That way, when these candidates disappoint you, you'll still stick with them. When they don't do nothing for you, you still stick with them, right? Because it's emotional, right? They want you like how you are with your mama, right? Your mama disappoints you. You ain't gonna just throw your mama away. You still love her, right? They want you like that with these candidates. Folks, we got our work cut out for us. We got our work cut out for us. Try to find something in either one of them that you could see, hey, right now, if I had a gun in my head and I had to vote for one or two of them, I'd have to look at Trump a lot better than I would Kamala Harris. Why? Because Trump has the experience right now. He got that at least going for him. Kamala Harris has no experience. Yes, I did, Vaughn. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me check, man. Let me check. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I did, Vaughn. Check your spam. I don't know, Vaughn, with your thing has spam. You gotta check your email. Check your spam, I mean. Yeah. Anyway, let's put this to the side. We're gonna put the Donald to the side. Next thing I want to talk about is Tyrese, man. Oh boy, Tyrese. Tyrese is not doing well. Tyrese is in the Atlanta jail. I don't know if he's still in jail. Of course, I didn't get no emails. I know I don't have your emails, of course. Let's see. Let's see. So y'all know that Tyrese Gibson, right? Singer, dancer, actor, um, you know, affiliated dude. He got picked up for child support. Now, me and Rico have done so many different shows on child support, right? He's not paying his child support. I take care of my kids and this and that and all this stuff he's gonna say, but he's not paying it. Well, if you're not paying it, how you taking care of your kids? I give her cash. That don't count. That don't count. Not toward child. Once they put you on child support, it's either they're not getting the money they want or they're not getting no money. But remember, you picked this person that's giving you hell. You picked them. You decided to lay down and have sex with this person. So some of this is your fault too. All right, let's see. Let's bring in Tyrese. Let's see what he's talking about.
My life.
So in a bizarre tirade posted to his Instagram account, actor Tyrese Gibson insisted he'd never been arrested while complaining about his baby mama drama. Just one day before the Fast and Furious star was temporarily detained and later released after being held in contempt of court in Fulton County. The incident was just the latest courtroom drama Gibson has had with ex-wife Samantha Lee over child support over their 5-year-old daughter, Soraya. See, man, let me tell you something, man. This is why we say to you, one of the most important decisions you are going to make in this life is sexually selecting the right person. If you sexually select the wrong person, man, all kinds of problems can come up. All kinds of problems. People don't think about that, right? They just want to get, right to the sex. But you can't think like that no more, man. You can't think like that. You have to think with your head, with your top head, not your other head. You got to think with your brain. You know what I mean? You can't be I desire so much that I'm willing to throw caution to the wind. You can't do that no more in today's society, man. Today is so wicked, dude. Today's society is so wicked. In so many ways to get you caught up, child support, alimony, whatever. Then you say, yeah, but you also got to acknowledge his ex said that she regrets leaving him and she originally left him because people were in her ear. What difference does that make when she's bleeding them to death, right? Through child support, right? What difference does that make? I feel bad that he left, but I'm still gonna get that. I want that child support money, right? Score said he's paying child support. Check out Georgia state laws concerning child support. It has a cap. He was paying the amount he was supposed to. Judge and arbitration overused the ironclad prenup. Let me tell you something, Scorch, which me and Rico covered this on so many occasions. And this is the one of the times that me and the lead attorney is going to agree. You cannot prenuptialize child support. You cannot prenuptialize child support. That is independent of you can put it in there if you want to. It's totally unenforceable. You cannot what do you call that? Prenuptialized child support. That's outside of the jurisdiction of a of a prenuptial agreement. And I don't know why they're not telling. See, this is the kind of stuff they're not telling these young men. They're telling you go get a prenup, right? Okay, you can get a prenup, and you can prenup everything except child support. Well, everything when it comes to real and personal property. But when it comes to child support, that's off the chain. You can't decide. Only a judge can decide how much child support somebody can get, not no prenuptial agreement. That's absolutely unenforceable. There is no ironclad prenup. There is no such thing, right? There's only good prenups and bad prenups. And it's up to a judge to agree to it. The judge that's in front of, they got to agree to go by the prenup. If they feel like the wife is getting, done in, they could just override it. There ain't nothing compelling the state to follow your prenup. There's nothing compelling them to do it. They probably will if the wife has agreed to it with her own attorney looking at it. That's why when you do a prenup, you don't just get your attorney to do it. You get her attorney to look at it too. That way, you know what I'm saying? She can't just come and say, well, his attorney just brought it to me. I just signed it. Anyway, Demetrius said, and don't forget to say, bro, Clarence, that a condom will not save you. In most cases, it won't. Won't. You know that a woman can just say, I was hit by this man. The police can just come to your house, pick you up, and take you to jail. No evidence, nothing. Or she can hit her own self in the eye. Right? I forgot that movie that chick did that, man. When she went out to a club, had this biker dude beat her all up. Then she went to the police and said the dude that was trying to dump her had beat her up. He got taken to jail. Better watch what you're doing out here, man. Watch who you picking. Gordon said, no, check out the story from Tyrese to child support. They want to pay us off the unpaid attorney fees. Get your facts straight, bro. What facts do I not have straight? Wait. What? I told you that a child. Let me tell you what you're gonna do. let me put the thing out here right now for you, Scorched. I'm gonna do you like I did Vagoda yesterday, because Vagoda said something crazy too yesterday. So I said, okay, let's bring you up here. You come up here, Scorched. That is for Scorched Earth. Scorched, you come up here and prove to us that a prenuptial agreement is enforceable over the child support. It has no bearing on child support. That's what I'm trying to tell you, son. Don't have no bearing on that. But okay, but but Scorch, I want you to come up here and prove it. All right, y'all. I've been talking, but I got Vaughn and Bolo here. So let's go Vaughn, then Bolo, and then we get back to Tyrese. Yes. Here's Scorched. You got to hold on for a second, Scorched. And let Vaughn and Bolo get in here. Vaughn.
Wow, man. Greetings, brother. Greetings. Yeah, man. Glad to be up here one more time. We got a little bit of noise, huh? What's going on? I can't hear.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Scorched that
probably was Scorched. Oh,
okay. All right. Well, yeah, man. Listen, this whole thing with Tyrese, man, sometimes, it's hard for me to even try to figure out what to say about this. But I will say this. Let me just start by saying this. I believe that the child support system is cockeyed. I will say that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because they're asking for outlandish amount of money to take care of a child. You see what I'm saying? And I made nowhere near that amount and was able to raise a child. So I'll just leave it right there till I gather my thoughts.
Okay. We're going to put a pin in there. We're going to come back to that because I want to know how it's cockeyed because we need to talk about it. What about Bolo? Brother Bolo, what's going on with you, man?
How's everybody doing?
Fine, sir. How about yourself?
I'm alive. The Lord gave me another day, man.
What's going on, big brother?
I think that's a lot of bread, man. What is she asking for? 10 grand?
No, he owes 70, I believe.
God damn.
I believe he owes 70 grand in back payment. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder where I got that number from. Someone is paying $10,000 a month in child support.
Oh, well, that's maybe that's his monthly child support, but I know he owes in total right now 70.
Yeah, that's a lot of bread, bro. The hell are you doing with that child? What is it? A damn superhero? The hell you need 10 grand for?
I don't know.
What you need 10 grand to raise a child for? I'm trying to understand that because of the way he lives.
I think so. I think it's based on his income.
Yeah, but that makes no sense. So because I make this amount of money, this child needs $1 million a year. Is that what you're telling me? This child needs $1 million a year because of who? Come on, man. That don't make no sense.
That's
and it's heavily weighted. It's heavily weighted against men. This is what this is reminiscent of.
What's that?
The O.J. Simpson trial. Again, this is our opinion because we have no fact, but everyone knows that, or at least thinks that O.J. knew something or had something to do with, what happened to his wife and the other cat, right? But because black people have lost so much and have gone through so much, they didn't think about the ramifications of whether it was right or wrong. The win alone made people happy. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it's so heavily weighted, like what Vaughn was saying. He's not wrong when he says it. It's so heavily weighted against men. Not saying that not saying that there isn't women out there that are paying child support. Absolutely. But the system is the system is so against masculinity and against men and to hold men down. I mean, even when you watch the movies, man. I mean, me and Vaughn was talking about it. He made me waste 2 hours of my life watching that movie Deliverance.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm gonna get on you.
You're gonna bring that up, brother.
Yes, sir.
Can't get back the time either now.
He told me I watched that movie specifically because Vaughn said it was a good flick.
Well, listen, I was going off of what other people said, so I had to look at it myself.
What movie is that?
The only one. No, listen, brother, misery loves company.
Right, there you go. So I went to go watch the movie.
What movie is that? What movie you got?
Deliverance. It's called Deliverance.
Okay.
Right, Lee Daniels flick, and it's totally against men, bro. Totally. When you're watching these movies now, men are either liars, especially black men, liars, drunks, drug addicts, have no backbone. This is the status quo when you look at these men that are being portrayed on these television shows. So, so again, you may have women paying child support, maybe an exorbitant amount of money. Cool. But it's so heavily weighted to the other side. She don't need 10 grand at all. At all. Now, again, I don't know what the situation is with him being, his back child support. I think he's worth a couple of million. He should be able to pay that off one shot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm assuming. I don't know what his checkbook looks like. However, come on, man. What's going to happen is you're going to make that child in the eyes of the father look like a bill. And this is what they don't understand. They make the child look like a bill. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen, I watch these shows with my son on YouTube of the child support hearings and women going back, they're aired on YouTube. And what we watch, I'm like, that is so unfair. You get a few judges that are fair, get a few, but the amount that I have seen, it is so heavily weighted on the other side that it's crazy. This is why they're saying that, DNA should be mandatory when the child is born.
Right. Now, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Because you can't sue the woman. You can't put her in jail when you find out 15 years later that she lied. You just got to say, oh, well.
Okay. Well, let me.
But wait a minute. Let me just say this, though. They also have it where after the child is born, she can just put Bolo down there. You see what I'm saying? And because you just wrote it down there, Bolo, you see. Now he's responsible for that child, and it may not even be his just because she filled in his name. Come on, man. The system is cockeyed.
And you know what's so crazy to add to that? I was watching a Judge Judy. And this dude, you know, he thought that the woman that he was with she was true to him. Put his name on the child on the birth certificate. 3 or 4 years later, he finds out that she cheated. They do a DNA test. Child's not his. She said, I understand, but you put your name on the child support, on the birth certificate. According to the law, you're obligated. You have to go to court to get your name off the birth certificate. Do you know how hard that is?
Yes.
Do you know how much money you got to spend?
Yes.
So, and it goes to what Vaughn is saying. Let's say if I don't even know this chick, let's say it was a one-night stand, which is off. But you know, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and she puts my name arbitrarily on the what's the name? I don't know that she doesn't have my address. I don't have hers. 5 years later, I find that my license is suspended. I owe 40 grand in back child support. How the hell did this happen? How did this happen? Well, she put your name.
Or you go to jail.
Well, I see. Yeah, they put your name in the newspaper. It's so heavily weighted on the left-hand side. And again, we're talking about the rule, not the exception. There are always going to be women that, you know, the judge found in the man's thing. There's always going to be that. But when you look at the numbers, it is heavily slighted on the left-hand side towards women. It is.
Okay. All right. We're going to come back to that too. All right. Scorched. You came up here to prove that.
No. Don't put words in my mouth now, brother. I never said I could prove. What I said was get your facts straight. They was just talking about it on the Latif Network, the same story.
What
and
fact?
A brother named hold up, on Tuesday night, King's Talk. And they was talking specifically about him going to jail. The story is, and this is from Shannon Rawls, another brother that's from out here in LA, from Cali, LA area.
Okay.
Here's how it went. The thing is, and I remember Tyrese saying it when the divorce first came out. He was talking about how he did the prenup. In the event of a divorce or whatever the case may be, he had no problem. The child support was $10,000. Bolo. What happened was she turned around and kept getting attorneys because she kept contesting the prenup. In the prenup, it stated if you contest it, that means you're responsible for paying your own lawyer fees. I'll pay for mine. Last year, he paid over $750,000. It wasn't for child support. They're saying child support because they lumped it in. In the state of Georgia and in the state of Texas, them the two states that I do know for sure that it has a cap on child support, no matter how much money you make. You only got to pay like, I think 10, 20%, like 20, 30%. I think it's like 20, which for his came up to, I think, based off of what his income, came up to about $10,000, I think maybe 20. What happened was when she turned around and contested it, that's when I'm not paying an extra 10 to 20 grand to pay for your goddamn lawyer fees when the divorce decree was already this. That's what I'm talking about. It has nothing to do with what it is that of trying to subvert the child support. And technically, The $10,000 isn't what the cap is in the state of Georgia. I think it's only like $3,000 or something like that. I don't know. I know that's what they was talking about Tuesday night. But Shannon Rawls, if you go back and look at Lapeep Network King Talk, they was talking about it. They spent the whole 2 hours talking about that. And he broke down the whole thing and everything that he was saying. When that divorce went down, when everybody found out about it, Tyrese, that's what Tyrese was crying about. Because he was like, how in the hell is it that you did all this stuff? When you already agreed to what it was, I had your lawyer, my lawyer, everybody sit down. And then some arbitrator comes in and just basically what he did was he made it contested, which opened everything back up, which was illegal because if that's what you already agreed to, the judge had no right to sit up there. The judge just basically did what Bolo and Vaughn was talking about. You get a goddamn lawyer up in there that you pay a couple of $1,000s to, they'll turn around and just go on and just sweep it up under the rug. They make you sit up there. Okay, now we'll put you in jail. You will have to appeal it, which he already has done. But appeal takes time. It's not something that you can just do overnight unless we would think, okay, you got the money or whatnot. But for him, it was never about the money. He knew he could have paid it. It was more so the principle of the matter where he said, no, I'm willing to take this stand for those of the brothers that's out there that's getting done in like this. It ain't nobody saying nothing. That's why he did what he did.
Okay.
So
let me now.
I'll go ahead. You said I tried to prove. No, it had nothing to do with subverting
No. I don't know what you're saying. That I didn't say none of what you're talking about. So I don't know how much he was ordered to pay or what. I never said nothing about that. The only thing I said that I wanted you to prove was that you can determine child support in a prenuptial agreement. You cannot do that.
No, it wasn't about that. That's what I was trying to say. He never. That was never
said already. Scorched just said it again that they agreed to a specific amount.
No. What I'm saying is, whatever it was that was agreed upon when it came to the arbitrator, he was only supposed to be paying $10,000. At first, she never contested that. She was cool with it. Then all of a sudden, I guess she got with another lawyer. She got like 3 different law firms to send up there representing her, and she only paid them $5,000. So, this is nothing more than trying to make him pay for the goddamn attorney fees, which that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. It's not so much the judge turned around and the arbitrator turned around and made it so therefore he could pay the goddamn attorney fees. Now they're going to sit up there and listen. That's what I meant by the cap. They're not supposed to go over the cap. It's not about how much money he makes. It's now, unless they don't change a law in Georgia, and he just happened to get caught up when they change the law. But as much as, to my knowledge, it's a cap on there. Same thing in Texas.
Okay. But what I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to explain to you, Scorched, is that cap is independent of the agreed on, like for example, if they agree to a certain amount in a prenuptial agreement, or in case we break up, this is what you can put personal property in there. You can determine that. You can determine real property. You cannot determine child support. That has to go before the court. Then the court has to decide that. Even if she signs something that says, I agree to this much child support, the lawyer probably explained to her, this is not enforceable. You can go and get more money if you want it, because this is not enforceable. This has no bearing on that. Child support is the only thing you cannot put in a prenuptial agreement and enforce it. And by the way, a prenuptial agreement is only enforceable if the judge in front of you is willing to accept it. If the judge says, nah, she didn't have no lawyer look at it. That's why I agree with the lead attorney. You have to have your lawyer draw it up and give it to her and tell her to go get her own attorney and have her own attorney look at it, and you start negotiating.
That's what they did, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
What I'm saying to you is, the thing that opens the door for her to go back and get more money is because her lawyer told her that is not, you can't, this agreement is at this position, this point of it is unenforceable. because you can't
I
enforce.
know you're missing everything. Me and you were saying the same thing. I think what me and you are getting in disagreement is the fact that I'm telling you, Georgia
Well, you
law.
told me to get my back straight, Scorched.
No, and I'm telling you because you still sitting up there trying to tell me something that I never said. I never said. You're absolutely right. I understand that. But now, I know this for a fact, based off of what you're saying, that's not true. Me and my ex-wife, my first wife, we had 3 children. We went in there in front of her lawyer, in front of my lawyer, and we set up our own agreement on how much money I was going to pay for child support. I didn't have to pay alimony. The judge looked at it, and I made good damn money at that time. Never rejected it because that's what we agreed upon. So everything that you're saying,
But that's with a mediator. That's what I mean. That's
no,
not a prenuptial agreement.
no.
That's not
Would
a
you listen to
prenuptial
me?
agreement.
How many times I have to tell you that he had when they drew up the prenup, she had her lawyer, he had his. She was represented by a lawyer.
Okay.
So therefore, so if I don't know if that was exactly the amount that was agreed upon, I just know that in the state of Georgia and in the state of Texas, them are the 2 states that I know for sure that they have a cap. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You can be a billionaire, and they're gonna have a cap at an amount to what child support is per child, if I'm not mistaken. So everything you're saying, you could be right about this particular case. But on this same particular case, the way how you're saying it is making it sound like that he was trying to usurp, he was trying to get away from paying that much money in child support. That wasn't the case.
I never said that. That was you.
I said that's how it sounded.
I know, and I'm saying it sounds like that because you're developing that on your own. I'm just talking.
No, I'm not developing that on my own. I'm telling you exactly what came out of the horse's mouth.
I never said he was trying to do anything to circumvent nothing.
No, you said you said that I needed to sit up there and prove to you that you can't set an amount without the judge approval or whatnot, and that's furthest from the truth.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Okay, what is it that you said? You said something to that degree. What did you say?
Scorched. I said that you cannot determine a amount of child support in a prenuptial agreement. You said to get my facts straight. So I said,
yeah, okay, on that particular case, yes. Because that's not true.
Okay, let me get involved. I just looked it up. This is what it says. No prenuptial agreement are not typically upheld in court against child support. Child support is a child's right. Child support is the right of the child, not the parent. The parents cannot limit or set it aside in a prenup.
And that's not what I'm saying that he did. The child support was never mentioned in that. The thing is, what I was saying what happened was based off the whatever they prenup was outside of the child support, because the child support when the divorce was finalized was at $10,000, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was at 10 grand. He had no problem with paying that. The problem was that in that divorce decree, in that prenup, if she signed for this, her lawyer agreed to it. Now, this was before they got married and all that other stuff, and then she did what she did, and then he did what he did, whatever. That if she contested it anyway.
Scorched. You got a real bad background, man. I don't know if
you're I'm doing my 5-mile walk, man, in Fontana, so I'm sorry. So you might hear some little bit of noise. I go mute.
Gorgeous. Right. What you're trying to say is that she had buyer's remorse, so she found some dirtbag lawyer to try to circumvent the prenup and use the child support as a way to get it in to the court. Is that what you're trying to say?
I guess he's still walking. He's still walking. Scorched, are you there? We'll let it come back.
I think that's what it sounds like he's trying to say.
Let me tell y'all what my contention with him was. Okay, he said I that's all I was saying was that you can't prenup child support. Child support, that's determined strictly by the court. So you can't say, okay, well, I'm gonna just give you this much child support. No. Well, put it like this. If she agreed to it and she don't go to the court, fine. But she can go to the court because that is not enforceable. You can't, you can't say, well, hey, you agreed to this number in child support. You can't, because the court is supposed to determine that, right? So therefore, you can't prenup that part. So that's all I was trying to tell him. I don't know where he came with all these other suppositions, but I was just trying to tell him that you can't do that part. Therefore, the lawyer that worked with her in the mediation probably said, the door is open. You don't have to take what you agreed to if you think you need more. Now the door is open. We can go ahead and ask for more money, because a prenuptial agreement cannot bind us at all. If you are,
but you're talking about for the child support though, man, and it wasn't that prenup, like I said before, based off of what Tyrese said and what Shannon Ross was saying, it had nothing to do with that prenup. But the thing was a contestant. When she opened the door, the arbitrator, her lawyer or whoever, the arbitration or whoever it was, when they went up there to make the deal out, they turned around. He turned around.
He said it was in the prenup. Tyrese said that the child support, they agreed on child support in the prenup.
Well, then, I mean, hey, if he did that, then, I mean, I didn't hear that part. So I stand corrected then if that's what he said. So now I just know this. You gotta go back and listen to what he said recently, because he talked about the whole dang thing and what it was that the lawyers and the judge.
I'll look it up right now. Keep talking. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Hey, now on a lighter note, screw them. I could care less about them. Hell, they ain't. This election thing, I got an idea for everybody.
Okay.
For all you believers, just me. Maybe we ought to go back to when Samuel was talking to, if I'm not mistaken, Bolo, wasn't it not Samuel when he went before God because the people wanted the king, and God told him what would happen when that king that they voted in, because they rejected God. Is that the right one, Samuel?
It could
Bolo?
be. I have to look it up. It could be.
I think it's Samuel. I say this: if you're a true believer, don't vote for neither one of them. Just vote your local in local and state. Leave the presidency alone. Leave it alone, because it got even the church discombobulated. And that's saying something.
Wait a minute.
It got the body. I said, don't vote for either one of them. Vote God. You ain't got to put his name in, but just say, you know what, the president. I'll vote my local. I'll vote my state. I'll vote my parish, whatever. But when it comes to these two suckers right here, I'm staying out of it. God, you decide. Whatever it is you decide, that's what it's going to be.
But God's not voting.
But, no, hold up. No, you know what? Now vote God. I ain't voting for neither one of them.
So, well, Scorch, what if God win? What if God win? Is he gonna come run America?
Well, listen,
hey, you know what? Hold up now. Hold up. That might not be a bad idea.
You're right about that, Scorch. I will give you that. That's a pretty good idea. Is it realistic?
Hold on, brothers. He's already running America. What are you talking about?
Oh no, God ain't running.
Oh, he's not?
No.
He's letting hold up. I think no, hold up. Vaughn, I know what you're saying.
You don't believe that God is running things, right? You don't believe that God is running things.
Not in
He's
America.
allowing things. He's allowing things to be done in the way that it is and make Satan feel like he's winning. That's all.
Listen to this. And if you could mute, brother, while you're not speaking.
I am. I'll do it right now for you, sir.
Yeah, I want to say this. Regardless of what's going on in America, God is still in control. Come on. You know, we would have to realize that those of us who are believers, you see, David said, I was young, young, and now I'm old, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor their seed begging bread. In other words, God provides for us. So my wealth and my well-being is not contingent upon the fact of who they're going to vote in this election. You see what I'm saying? God is still in control. You see what I'm saying? Now, you might want to go back in history and ask that to a Pharaoh that we read about. You know, God sent a few flies and a few frogs and a couple of other things, right? He's always going to be in control. Now, we may be down here running amok, but we only run amok until he says, stop it. And that's that.
Well, you know, very nice comments.
Well, until I see a politician jump up there and turn around.
George, man, I got to mute,
What?
man. Ooh, that's some ugly background, man. Holy smokes. Let me say this. You know, when I say God is not in control of, I never say God is not in control. What I mean is when God is not running America. I mean the culture of America, the value system of America. None of that God is responsible for. You know what I mean? In my opinion, that's what I'm talking about. Of course, God is in control of the daily motion of everything in the universe. But what I'm saying is, as far as like the culture system or the value system of America, that is not godly, in my opinion. I don't see God saying, go out, go get him, Megan Thee Stallion, go get him. What's the other chick's name? You know, go get him, Sexy Red or whatever. Go get him. I don't see God doing that. I see God as making a way for those of us that want to believe in his name and willing to make the sacrifices to do that. I believe he's here to help us, you know, extend his hand out to us. Well, anybody who wants to, but there's going to be most of the people going to slap his hand away because they're so busy being all involved in the wickedness of this world. It's so wicked. So therefore, I don't believe God is is the orchestrator of this wickedness. That's what I'm talking about, Vaughn. Of course, God is in control of, you know, every movement in the universe. Of course, that's what I mean. But I mean,
and you know what, Clarence, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You know, but I believe that we would be negligent if we don't recognize the fact that God is in control of this. You know, everybody's running amok. Oh, who should I vote for? Should it be? I don't like Trump, but then I don't know if I like her. You know, everybody's running amok like chickens with their heads cut off because, you know, everything is in a quandary. But no, brother, listen, I'm not going to lose no sleep over this. Whoever they put in office, believe me, when it's all said and done, brother, God has the final say. Whether they wake up and breathe the next day, God has the final say. So that's who I put my trust in. I don't put my trust in man, Brother Clarence. You know what I'm saying? And I know this is an election period and we should respect it and, you know, vote our conscience or however they say it, you know. But at the same time, brother, no, I'm not going to be fooled by the trickery. You see what I'm saying? We need good godly leadership, which we're not going to get. So when the wicked are in leadership, the people go to mourning. And so that's what we've been putting up with for centuries is wicked leadership. But look how God has turned it around for those of us who believe in him. You see what I'm saying? All things work together for the good. You see? So yeah, you know, listen, I really don't put great trust in Trump, you know, because he's very asinine and he seems to the point of ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And he's just way out there. I don't put my trust in this sister because she's new. She just walked up to the podium. You see what I mean? Actually, they pushed her up there. It wasn't even her idea probably to be in that spot.
Mm.
You see, so I can't really put a stock in that either. So if I have to choose, I choose God. No disrespect meant, but I have to say that, you know what, God, I have to back up from this and choose you. Because see, both of them can run the country into the ground. But if God says not so, see, that's where my faith is. I'm not going to stop eating because Kamala becomes the president. I'm not going to stop eating because Trump is the president. You see what I'm saying? My God will provide regardless of what type of wicked leadership is in charge. And I digress.
So it don't matter how wicked a leader we get, or does it?
Well, it does matter, but it's not our choice. You say it's our choice.
I'm
Because
saying
I could vote for whoever I think is right all day long. I could vote for whoever I think is right all day long.
Well, let me put it like this, Vaughn. If you don't choose, and we continue as black men, because most black men don't vote. If we continue as black men not to vote, why should they extend that? Why should they continue to extend that privilege to us?
Well, hold on.
We're not going to do it.
Well, now wait. I didn't say I wasn't going to vote. Didn't you just express to us that there's other people on the ballot that we can vote for?
Yes, sir.
Well, then those are the individuals that I'll vote for. Because I don't like what they're displaying and playing in my face. I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm suggesting you just vote. Whoever you vote for, just vote. Because that's what's going to happen if we continue as black men not to vote. That's why you never see ads trying to get black men to vote. They have ads trying to get black women and black gay men to vote. They don't have ads to try to get black men to vote because they know we just don't vote. We just won't vote.
Yeah. And
so we don't want to get that. We don't want to let that privilege go away where they just say, you know what? You know, they'll make up something, right? Like they try to do in the South. Oh, Vaughn, you know, you have to have you have a real ID? No, I don't have a real ID yet. Oh, well, you can't vote because you don't have a real ID. Or do you have a passport? Oh, no, you don't have a passport. You can't vote. You have 2 check stubs on you? Oh, well, you can't vote because you don't have to. They're going to start making up something that try to eliminate us like they did before.
I have a question.
Okay. All right, Scorch. I was talking, but okay, go ahead.
No, you can finish. I just want you to know I have a question after you're done. So you go on and finish going.
No. I said so. I think me and Vaughn on the same page. We just coming at it from different perspectives. I just want to make sure we don't get that right away. Too many of us fought and died for us to get the right to at least have the opportunity to select somebody. Maybe we don't want to select who they pushed up in front of us, but we at least want to have the right to be able to make that selection if we so choose to.
And that's part of my question right there.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So you just said it. If we have people before us that fought and died, but to give us the right to vote.
Wait a minute, we can't understand you, Scorch. You got a lot of bad background, man. Is there any way you can get rid of that background, like go inside a building or something?
Hey, I come back in. I'm gonna stay online, but I come back in and bring this wind blowing in here in my ears. So I go back on you.
Okay.
And let me just say this, Brother Clarence. You know, in all due respect, it's just this is my opinion. This is the way that I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to force it on anyone on the panel or anyone in the chat. You see, this is just my thoughts that I'm sharing. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that it is very important when we make a decision as to who we're voting for. You know, but if you really don't like both candidates, you know, some people say, well, let's choose the lesser of the evils. And I don't want to choose any evil if I can help it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of in a rock and in a hard place when it comes to these two candidates. You see what I'm saying? I'm not, well, how could I say it? How could I say this better, Lord? Help me. I really don't have a great deal of trust for neither one of them.
Right.
You know, you have one individual on one hand who has a lot of these charges and criminal things going on, you know, and he acts often like a buffoon. You know, I just don't want people with that type of character running the country. That's just, now listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is just me speaking. You can vote for Trump all day, you know, but it's something about his character that doesn't settle well with me. You see what I'm saying? There's an agenda behind the face. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe that he has my best interest at heart. It's all about money with these politicians. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, listen, they can talk a good game and, oh, I'm going to do this. And believe me, I'm going to make sure you get this and that. And I'm going to make sure that you set high up on a hill. You're going to get money every month. And, oh, I'm going to do that. And promise after promise. 5 months in, you see that they're doing totally something opposite of what they said they would do when they took office. And we've seen this happen over and over again. So maybe someone can join the panel and talk me into why I should vote for Trump or why I should vote for Kamala or Kamala, however you say her name. I'm open. I just don't see it, bro.
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't see it. I just don't see it. But, you know, the conversation is definitely open for me. I really don't speak politics because I'm not I'm just not a great conversationalist when it comes to politics. You know, but when we talk about running the country, you know what I'm saying? It's like I really want to be informed as to what type of country are you planning on running? What things do you strategically have in place where we can prosper as a country, where we could be better? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but okay. First of all, shout out to the Great Pill Podcast. These two people are not going to tell you what their plan is. They're not going to tell you what they're going to do. They're not going to tell you anything. They're just going to keep attacking each other and saying, I'm a better choice than that person. They're not gonna, and so you say, well, why are you a better choice? And they're not going to tell you why they're a better choice.
I don't know.
They're going to just say, this person is worse
probably
than me.
Want some of the ones that are down on that off that first UPS.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Like, I wonder if the voiceover.
Let me shut T-Biz down for a minute. Yeah, so that's the problem that we have. We're not going to get the truth. See, what did they say? The truth would set us free, right? We would, if they told the truth, then we could say, oh, well, you're not going to do this and you're going to do this. Then we could, we would have a better vision to see which one we should choose, or if we should choose either one of them. But they're not going to tell us. Just like if you watch the whole debate, I watched the whole thing. Neither one of them said anything about what they was going to do for anybody, right? The only person they're going to do something for, that is guaranteed that they're going to do something for, just because they're Jewish, is Israel. That's the only group of people they have signed an agreement to help you just because you're Jewish, right? So that they're the only ones that's going to get specialized money going straight to them just for their religious beliefs, right? Okay, we see that happening. But where else did they say anybody else was going to get anything? Neither one of them did, as far as I know, unless one of you other guys heard where they said, hey, we're going to help black people, we're going to help green people, we're going to help blue people, we're going to help women, handicaps, we're going to help all these different people do all this different stuff. I didn't hear none of that. I don't know how we're supposed to decide who's best for this country when both of them have, which one of these people can drive the ship? Both of them have broken hands. Who can grab the steering wheel better? But neither one of us will tell. Well, so the only one that has the experience is Donald Trump. At least he got that going for him. Outside of all of the criminal charges that's he's up against, right? And he knows he's gonna get convicted, so he said, "Hey, I'm gonna beat him on appeal." Right? I'm gonna beat him on appeal. So who knows? But let's bring Aunt T-Biz into the fray here. Aunt,
What's up, brother?
Aunt, you there? All right. Well, Aunt is probably in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
I'm
go.
in the middle. I'm in the middle of some work stuff. I was gonna come up to answer Vaughn's question, but give me a little bit, and I'll come back.
Okay, got you, brother. All right. Let's hear from Bolo TV, man. We ain't heard from Bolo TV.
Man, I might be starting some trouble up here. Huh?
Man, again, right? Again.
Listen, I come in peace. I mean well. You know what I'm saying? But, you know.
Bolo, are you there with us, brother? He might be with Aunt.
I think Bolo.
I'm here, brother. I'm here. I'm listening to you guys. I'm here.
Bolo might be with Aunt T-Biz, man. They both at the ice cream truck, standing right behind the devil. Right behind the devil.
It was hot enough, man. It was hot enough.
I'm here with you guys. I'm here with you guys. I'm letting y'all rock out, man. You know, y'all got some good points. You know.
All right.
You
All right. Well, let me ask you guys a question, man, and then I'm gonna start with Bolo. What kind of things should we be looking for if we trying to decide for these candidates? I mean, and we ain't trying to get, very complicated. What's some simple things we can look for to decide if I should vote for this candidate or consider voting for this candidate? What are some things you guys think we should be looking for? And I'm start with you, Bolo.
It goes, I'm kind of on the side of and because I kind of know where he's gonna come from and where Vaughn is coming from. You're going to vote for whoever's going to put you in a better position to kind of do what you need to do to take care of your family, your friends, and things that you need to take care of. Okay. You're not looking at it in the broader scale of, okay, this person is going to bring righteousness to America. Right. They're not. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you're looking at it. What can they do to help my situation and help me to get to a better position to be able to do what I need to do for my family, friends, and to put myself in a better position so that I can serve God better. That's my position on it. That's how I would look at it. And yeah, that's the goal. That's how I would go into it, looking at it. Because like you said before, both of them, you're looking at dung, solid dung, and loose dung. At the end of the day, you're getting doo-doo. That's what you're getting. So you have to pick whichever piece of garbage.
And they both stink.
Whoever's going to put you in a better position than the other. That's right. That's how I look at it.
Right. And so my thinking. So when I look at it, I see that both of them are very affluent. Right. Donald Trump is extremely affluent, and of course Kamala Harris would be considered affluent by the average person standard, right? And they're both very pro-police. They're both very pro-military. So they're not really far apart from each other, right? But they got to make you think that they're so much different, right? They got to make you think that he's different than me. I'm different than him. But when you get down to the brass tacks and you see how both of them been moving the last 10 or 15 years, you see they're pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same person. They pretty much gonna want to lock up young black men, throw the key away, and not only young black men, the young black, Latino, poor white people. They want to lock up the unaffluent, let's say, because that's what they want to do, right? They feel like that's going to stabilize the crime to just lock up these young men, and then they don't want to invest in my opinion, I'm just looking at what they've done. They don't want to invest in rehabilitation programs, Head Start programs that would help us reduce crime by getting in front of a lot of it by having programs that these young men could get involved with that would kind of turn them around, right? Neither one of them are really interested in that. Now, I'm going to ask the question again. Vaughn is scorched, and TBS will jump in when he get a chance. But what do you guys think we should be looking for in terms of how to select that one of these people from the other person?
Well, I would definitely say this. Someone who is very precise in, defining what it is that they will do for the country. You know what I'm saying? As far as their policy is concerned, what their plan is, what the structure of what they plan to do, what does it entail? All of those different things. Somebody that makes it very clear so that we can understand it. But I don't know, man. According to these two, I'm a bit confused.
That's my point, Vaughn. That's my point. They're not going to tell you those things. So now what are you going to use? Now how are you going to decide?
Yeah, that's a hard question, brother. Next.
Scorch, what you got to say, man?
I'm still in the wind. Give me a few more minutes.
Okay, right on, brother. Right on. Okay, yeah. So let's listen to a little bit more of the Donald, and maybe I missed something. Maybe he said, "Hey, Bolo TV, let's me and you get together and let's start working on trying to save some of these young men." Maybe I missed that. Let's just check it out.
Things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy
President
with a fake
Trump.
Russia investigation
We do have a lot
that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay?
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president, you said you wanted to ban fracking. Now you don't. You wanted mandatory government buyback programs for assault weapons. Now your campaign says you don't. You supported decriminalizing border crossings. Now you're taking a harder line. I know you say that your values.
Did you guys hear that? She was against us banning she was for banning assault rifles. Now she's not. Both of them are just pieces of work, right? How many kids got kids?
They freestyling.
How many kids got killed with assault weapons with these school shootings? And they still not banning assault weapons. The people down there in the South saying, well, we going hunting with these AR-15s, right? We going hunting with them. All right. But you can't hunt with an AR. You can't hunt with a rifle, with an assault rifle. Can anybody tell me why you're not going to be able to hunt with an assault rifle? No picking, no winners. The reason why you can't hunt, with an assault rifle. Oh, were you gonna say something more?
No, I was just gonna say I never went hunting before, so.
Okay. You can't hunt with an assault rifle because it makes too much noise, gives up too many rounds per.
That is not 100% true. And yes, you can hunt with an AR-15.
Well, I mean,
and they work out nicely. No, you can hunt with it. It works out nicely.
What I mean, let me explain deeper what I mean.
Go for it. Sorry,
Anthony. Okay, so what I mean is, of course, you can hit your target. But I mean, you can't keep on. It's like it was the same thing when the Indians took the white people hunting, and the white people had muskets, and the Indians had bows and arrows. The Indians could hunt all day. But when the white men came, pow, that boom, that was it. That was it for the rest of the day, right? Anything within 10 miles was out of there, right? So that's what I mean when I say the difference between hunting, right? When you put you fire the one shot, boom, you miss, you keep on going, right? But when you fire, I don't know how many rounds in AR-15, 25, 15, something like that. I don't know. But it's a lot of rounds. And when the prey hears that, they're out of there, right? So that's what I mean when I'm saying that. Of course, you're going to be able to hit the target, y'all. But go ahead, Ant, if I missed something.
Well, the thing is behind it is that the majority of people that hunt with AR, they're allowed to a point, but they're no louder than any other rifle that you would hunt with. The people that hunt, basically, one shot, one kill, right? One shot, one kill is what you're looking for,
right?
But for the majority, from what it's not, you're looking at something that can hold about 30 rounds on average, 25 to 30 rounds, and you can also they are modified, so you can modify them with suppressors, and you can modify them with scopes and everything else, right? So it just all depends on what you are trying to do. Or you configure it for home defense, or you can configure it for hunting. It's very, the thing about it is very, very, very malleable to whatever you want to try to do. The thing that's one of the things they don't like about it. You can fire 223 round off of it, which is a smaller round, or you can do a 5.56. Right, depends on what you got, what you're looking to do. So those things are all part of it. But the thing is, it's not an assault rifle. It's a semi-automatic rifle, just like any other rifle that you can get on the market. It just looks like it's a military style. So just FYI. But give me a few more minutes, and I'll be up.
Okay. All right. So the question is, should we give up the safety of our children by allowing these assault rifles, or should we, use a different type of weapon hunting or to protect our home so that we can make sure that these weapons don't fall in the hands of these school shooters?
Yeah.
Well, this is my
Not illegal to have a shotgun in your home.
This is my point, because again, I do have weapons that protect my home. And when the Constitution was written, it wasn't, the Second Amendment, it wasn't written for bears or for lions. It was written for tyranny. That's what it was written for. It was written so that if the government would, not continue to serve the people, that the people would have enough armory to be able to protect themselves from the tyranny of the government, because that's where America came from, England and all that other nonsense.
Correct.
So again, so that's my thought process on it. That the reason why they haven't ran into people's cribs yet is because they know cats got armor. You dig what I'm saying? Because I'm sure, because again, when you look at every country or every continent that their leaders, whether it was Stalin, Mao, Hitler, whatever, when they took weapons away and put it away, right after that, cats marched into their cribs and did whatever they wanted to do.
Same thing just happened in Venezuela.
So, that's the thought process.
I believe everybody should have weapons. I mean, you should have a choice of weapon if you want weapons in your house. But what I'm saying is there's a certain type of weapon that
make it harder to get.
Nope.
Yeah.
Make it harder to get. The weapons don't shoot people. People do.
Yeah, that's my point.
See, okay, so that's your point, but and that's one of the points I don't agree with. And the reason why.
Okay, tell me exactly what I'm saying, man. That's disagree with you. You disagree with me, Ann.
I will be happy to. It should not matter how many you have. It should not matter what kind you can get. It should not. You should be able, because the Second Amendment right should not be infringed. You technically should be able to have the same things that the government has when it comes to weapons.
Okay.
That makes you on par and even. Now, is that the case? The answer is no. That is not the case. But people talk about all of these talking points about having background checks and everything else. If you have bought a gun, you had a background check done. There is no loopholes or anything else where you can go and buy one. The only loophole you have is if you go buy one illegally. That's it. If you go buy one illegally, there's the loophole, because all you need is whatever cash that they're telling you that it costs. That's it. And you've already broken the law. You now become a criminal when you do that. But everyone who has, depending on what state you are in and everything else, the majority of people will go and buy their firearm. They will have to show their license. They will have to commit to a background check that goes through the FBI and whatever other Homeland Security spot to make sure that and it goes and checks and make sure you don't have a felony. It goes and makes sure that you don't have anything that popped up with mental illness, that you're not wanted, that you don't have any warrants out. All of those things happen for everyone that goes and buys a gun. Sometimes you might have, depending on where you buy your gun, it could be everything same day. It could be a 10-day window to get it. It could be 7 days. It could be 5. It could be 3, or whatever the case may be. That's how it goes. It just depends on what state that you're in. Now, more states, you got states like where you guys are in California, where you got to jump through 35,000 hoops to get one. Same thing happens in Illinois. Same thing happens in New York, places like that. Yeah, it happens. Doesn't mean you can't get one. It just means that you got to jump through 35,000 hoops. That's why it might take you longer to get one. But area where I live, hey, few days, done.
Right.
If I go a state to the south, same day. So, hey,
right when you're born, they just hand you a pistol.
No,
right?
they don't. It's not it. No. That'd be nice, but no. But no.
Okay,
right.
This is what I'm saying, brother. I understand that, and we should have the right to protect ourselves and protect our homes. I'm not a gun owner. I'm not a gun owner, but I definitely would use a gun. I'm just not a gun owner. But I think you should be able to do it. But my thing is those really complex weapons that can push out like you said, 30 rounds at 30 rounds per second, or what I'm saying.
I said it held. I said it held 30.
Well, let's say 10 rounds per second or something like that.
There
right?
is no such thing.
Okay,
So
5 rounds
unless you're fully automatic.
Okay.
For the guns that are out on the market right there, for the round to go off, you must pull a trigger. Pull one trigger, one bullet comes out. You pull the trigger, bullet comes out.
Even if it's a
it's like a round a second.
Okay, around a second. Okay, so even if it's semi-automatic, it's around a second, right?
All guns that are sold in the U.S. are semi-automatic.
Okay,
all guns, handguns, and rifles.
Okay, therefore, don't you think that the rifles, since they're buying the rifles and they're using the rifles in these school shootings and these mass shootings, it seems to me that's what they're using the most. They're bringing handguns with them, but the ones that they're using to take the people out are typically the rifles, right? The assault rifles.
They need to regulate the internet, so therefore they can't buy the extra accessories and make it into a semi-automatic rifles into semi-automatics.
Even on the internet, you still have to have the proof. If you're legitimate, you still have to have the proof. You still have to have what you're buying for your modifications. It's still a process.
What I'm saying is, would it be worth the sacrifice of having the availability of those semi-automatic rifles? Is it because it was illegal to sell the Indians rifles. You could only sell them muskets. You couldn't sell them rifles
because they were racist.
Well, they want to be able, if ever the Indians came against them, they would be able to pick them off at 100 yards, right? So they didn't want the Indians to have the same, they don't want the rabbit to have a gun, right?
Yes.
So
but yet they killed them with the smallpox, so right?
There you go.
I didn't say they were stupid. I just said they didn't want them to they definitely was
Yeah,
had
but
different
but
ways of
still,
doing
but even to your point, the Indians still wound up getting rifles. They realized that they were on the short end of the stick, and they
Well,
still
they
got rifles
they
illegally.
got them under the table. They didn't get them
Yes,
from legitimate
yes,
people, right? So that's
yes,
what I'm saying. So I'm
yes.
saying this in this instance, it's worth considering to take these assault rifles
Okay.
and make them a little. I know it's hard to get them,
No, no,
right?
no, 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 no. To your point. So let's go. Let's go with what you're saying right now. We'll
Okay,
go with what you're saying right now.
all
Make
right.
them hard to get. For who?
Make them hard to get for a first-time buyer. First-time buyer.
Why?
And why? Because of the threat of what may happen, right?
Now,
That's
keep in mind what you're saying,
okay.
right? The age to buy a gun, any gun, the age to buy on average is 18 years of age.
Correct.
The majority of shootings that you're talking about, the majority of shootings, school shootings, are done with handguns. The others that were not done with handguns and were done with rifles, right, were all done by underage kids. They did not buy these guns. They either stole them or they took it from their parents who did not have those things put up correctly.
Right.
So you can't. So now you're trying to say we want to legislate those who are not doing wrong based on those who are doing wrong and are underage.
Well, that's what we do with alcohol, right? We do with alcohol. We don't.
We do with alcohol what?
We legislate based upon the age of the person. We
yes,
say,
and the person who buys alcohol is how old on average?
They're supposed to be 21, right?
Depends on what state you're in.
Okay,
because some states are 18.
Okay, but typically, I'm assuming, but I could be wrong. Most of the country is at 21 years old. That's when you can start.
The majority, yes.
Alcohol, right?
Now, how do underage kids get alcohol?
I mean, they get it in various different ways. They send somebody in the store to go get it for them, or whatever they do.
Most of the time, it's from their parents.
Well,
but we haven't banned alcohol.
No, we're not banning alcohol. We just restrict it to a certain age.
I understand,
but
we have already done that.
We should ban alcohol, but we're not going to do it because people make too much money off of it. Same thing with guns. We're not going to ban.
But the thing is, you listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying. Okay? You're literally saying we're going to ban from those. We're going to change laws which are already been changed. Okay, because I just told you that depending on what it is, you can't buy a gun. The average age, the age for all states for you to buy either a handgun or a rifle on average is 18 to 21. That's the average age to buy a handgun or a rifle. It just depends on what state you're in. You cannot buy a gun underage. There's no one that's 16, 17 and below. There's no one that can go and buy a gun. Not on it legally. You cannot buy a gun legally below the age of 18. You can't. Again, I just reiterated to you, all of those things that happen, when you start looking at the Sandy Hook stuff, he went in there, used a handgun. He was underage. When you look at the stuff that happened or down in the one that happened in Texas, the two that happened in Texas, the one that happened in Florida, the one that happened in Georgia just recently, were all done by underage kids. And here's the kicker. When you go back and you look at that, a lot of the damage could have been mitigated if the people who were there at the time would have done their job. The cop in Florida who was on site would not go in and take on the underage shooter was a coward. He eventually, not too long after that, he got fired and was actually being sued. When you look at what happened in Uvalde, Texas, the one they point to, and the guy took out 19 kids and whatever. The cops were lined up in the hallway. They were lined up in the hallway and would not confront. They were there for hours. In the time that he was in there, he took out those kids. When you look at what happened down, there was another spot in Texas where it happened. When you look at what happened in that one person got taken out, but the people that were there did their job and took out the shooter. Sandy Hook, you go back and look at Sandy Hook. It was the same thing. They had no resource officers on site for this elementary school. None at all, no police, no nothing. And the guy took out a lot of people. So when you start saying all of these things and you go, well, there are gun-free zones and all of these other things, that's a target. You have just put on a target. Why? Because criminals don't care. People with the mental illness and they want to take out folks, they don't care about you and your rules. They don't care. So yes, I will arm myself. I will arm myself to the T. I will arm myself. I will make sure that my family arms themselves. I will make sure that my friends know and should arm themselves. Why? Because the people who are breaking the law do not care about your rules. They don't.
Okay, so
because they don't, it's in your best interest to defend yourself and to make sure that your family is in a spot where they are being defended, even if it's outside your purview.
Okay, so I have a question then.
Shoot.
What is it?
Not literally.
I ain't gonna shoot you, brother. but what is it that we can do, if anything, to keep this weaponry out of the hands of those who it should not be in? Should there be anything in place? Do you see what I'm saying? Or should we just say everybody gets one and we don't care what happens? Like should there be some type of line drawn somewhere where there's a requirement?
I think myself personally, I think what happened in Georgia was spot on. A lot of people don't agree with that, right? So a lot of people don't agree with that, but I think it was spot on. What is happening? They are charging the kid's parent as an accessory to murder.
Well, yeah, and that makes sense.
There should be an accountability. And why is that? Because the dad bought, if you go back and look at that whole story, the dad bought a gun and gave it to his
Taught him how to use it. Yep.
It wasn't the fact that he just taught him how to use it, but he gave it to him. And the key thing was, again, they had already talked to the kid prior to, because of stuff that he had been posting online, he was considered a threat. He had already come up on the FBI radar and all the rest of it. So when this kid should have had more of an eye on him, but his dad helped facilitate that. So yes, there should be accountability. And accountability is like me. If I train them, and people can say what they want to say, but if you train a monkey to shoot a gun, and you train the monkey to shoot a gun, and then in training that monkey to shoot a gun, you don't put any parameters around it, but then you give the monkey a gun and send him into a crowded grocery store, and the monkey just fires the gun off because he saw a lot of targets and started shooting. Who's responsible for that? The monkey or you?
Okay, so brother Andrew, so are you saying the things that they have in place is enough when it comes to purchasing a gun? You know, should it be more?
When it comes to purchasing a gun, yes, the things that they have are enough, because you can't stop.
So you don't believe that it should be a little more inherent?
In what way?
As far as what they require of you in order for you to gain those arms.
Okay, so what they require of you.
Do you think that somehow, possibly, if we take a little more time as to who we give this weaponry to, it may cut down, on some of the sadness that we're seeing?
And I asked the question again. I'm trying to take. I'm really pushed to take the emotional part out of this, right? I really pushed to take the emotional part out of it, and so I have to turn the question now back to you: is what more needs to be done for law-abiding citizens? Right.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure.
I can't. That's what I'm saying. I can't give.
But listen,
I can't give you. So the things that they have in place right now, right? The things that they have in place right now. When you go to buy, a gun, depending on what state you.
I'm talking in regards to people who have a mental illness. You see,
but that's what I'm saying. When they do the background check, they check you for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they check for that. They check to see if you came out. They check to see if you were committed. That background check is thorough. It checks to see if you were committed for any type of mental disorder. It doesn't matter if suffering from depression or anything like that, and you were committed for it. It flags. If you have a warrant, it flags. If you convicted, if you had a charge for domestic violence, they tag you with it. You can't get a gun.
Okay, well let's just say this, because this is obvious. These weapons are getting in the hands of the wrong people, and as a result, we're seeing all of these news stories. So we can't deny that something is going wrong. What do you feel that we can do? What do you feel that should be done to prevent these things?
Okay, so what you need to do is this: pray, preach the gospel, so men can have their heart changed, and then be prepared in season and out of season. That's what you do. Because here's the deal: when you teach a lot of these, like I said, a lot of this stuff that's happening, these are not grown folks doing this stuff. These are those who are underage. All this stuff that's happening in the schools, ain't no grown folks running there kicking indoors and blowing people away and everything else. The earliest one the closest one that was technically an adult was the one that came back to school. They had just graduated and came back to school the next year and did it. Why? Because A, weren't ready for adulthood. B, they were trying to retaliate against all of these people and all of this stuff in the school, and they wanted to make people pay and all of this other stuff and everything else. So you can't legislate a person's heart. You can't do it. So people who are suffering from mental illness and everything else, if they are not committed, if they are not shown to be under a doctor's care and all of this other stuff, things that will get flagged on a background check, what do you do? Underage kids, if they're suffering from this mental disorder, guess what? Even if they're seeing a doctor, those records are sealed. They're not buying the guns anyway. They're getting them from grandparents and parents and went over to a friend's house and stuff like that.
Wait, Anthony. Okay, if they're sealed, that means that the record is sealed, but they still have been committed, or they
but it doesn't show because they're underage. They're not buying guns.
But I mean, what I'm saying is, when they do get of age, because they're sealed, that won't show up, right?
That part I can't speak on. I can't say unless they are still seeing if they're still seeing a physician or whatever else. Then it will show up as an adult, but I don't think so. I think you're right.
That's my point is, what if they're not?
Again, you would think it would carry over. You would think that same treatment dealing with whatever doctors and whatever would be carried over into adulthood as well. Because we all know, let's be realistic here. The doctors make more money. There are good doctors. We don't lump them all into the same group. But we all know that a lot of doctors make their money treating symptoms
off the medicine
instead of fixing the root cause.
That's right.
Well, one thing I would definitely say in regards to a lot of these school shootings, I believe that the school should implement something more greater, because These weapons are going to be people are going to have access to these weapons. And you see, some schools, because you're in a nice neighborhood, you see what I'm saying? They don't think that they should take precautions. And then when little Mickey runs up in there, because he is disgruntled, now we have all of these things going on. So perhaps it should be a requirement for every, educational establishment to have something in place.
Yeah, but that's why that's why they started doing, a lot of states and a lot of school districts started doing the school resource officer piece, where they will either have an officer or, depending on the size of the school, they will have at least one officer, 1 to 2 officers stationed at the schools, right? In case something happens. But here's the deal. There are other schools districts and other school systems that have blatantly rejected that. Give me 1 second.
Boy, oh boy. I feel like we either got to do.
I had to turn off the phone.
Okay. I feel like we either need to do something in the front end or on the back end. Now, if we're not going to make the guns less accessible on the front end, meaning that, we need to do something. If it's you got to come back for an annual, psychoval or whatever. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but it should be something that we could try to do to weed out. In my opinion, we could try to weed out. But if we're not going to do it on the front end, then we have to do something on the back end. Meaning every store, every school, every place you enter has a metal detector. Every place you go is going to have a metal detector and somebody looking for weapons.
I think what needs to happen, really and truly, I think what needs to happen, to your point, when you start saying what should we implement, I think you need to get rid of gun-free zones. You need to get rid of that. That's number one.
What for those of us that don't know, Ant, what is a gun-free zone?
A gun-free zone is a place, or it's an area or a spot, or whatever the case may be, where no guns are allowed. That's what those need to go away.
Why?
Those were the biggest mistakes, because criminals don't care about your rules. The only ones that follow that are law-abiding citizens. So they will leave their guns in there. If they conceal carry, they will leave their guns in their car, or they will leave their guns at home, or all of these different things. And the criminals know it's easy pickings. When you go and you look at the stats, the real stats that list in gun-free zones are the highest areas, or some of the highest areas of crime.
How would that lower crime by removing the gun-free zone?
Because if you don't know that people are carrying there, then the chances of you doing something there won't happen. It goes up. Not that anything won't happen. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's going to say nothing's going to happen. But if you know that there's a chance that something can happen versus a chance where nothing's going to happen, then it's not a big thing. Most schools are labeled as gun-free zones. Most banks are labeled gun-free zones.
Are you telling me that you should be able to open carry in a school? You should be able to go into a school.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I believe a law-abiding citizen should be able to at least conceal carry. Yeah.
Can I say something now?
No.
Here's the thing, man. And I think that we have this conversation also often in different forums, right? Having a weapon gives you options.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point, right? So again, if someone is spitting at me and I spit back, they're more likely to chill because they know that they're not the only one that's carrying, right? In New York City, you have so much gun crime because, again, law-abiding citizens, it's harder to get a pistol opposed to the people that don't have, right? Here's the thing. The same breakdowns that you guys are using is the same breakdowns that people use when it comes to relationships, right? They want everyone else to take accountability and responsibility for the choices that they have to make and for what they're doing. So what does that mean? That means that we're talking about instilling more laws and making it harder. No, what you need to do is start holding the people accountable that have the weapon that allow their children access to it. Start holding them accountable.
That's why I
Right.
said the one in Georgia was,
Right.
to me, was spot on.
So when you start doing things like that, where you ain't having a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old, the first thing I did with my children was introduce them to it, because the worst thing you can do is hide it from them. That's when they want to play with it. They don't have a respect for it. Teach them that respect, right? This is where it forces you to get to know or get to understand your child's mind frame and understand that you need to put your weapon in a safe place where you are the only one that have access to it. So it puts the onus on the parents or the guardians, opposed to you saying, well, you know what, let's put it on everybody for that one person. No, we need to start holding that person accountable. We do it for everything else, right? The kid starts acting up in school. Who do we go to? The parents. The parents must be tripping out and bugging out. Well, how come we ain't doing it here? So we need to start holding the people in the home more accountable. And when you do that, it forces them to take the thought process that, you know what, I better make sure that I put this in a place where it's not accessible, opposed to just laying it around. So it's, the law has done as much as I can see as it can do right now at this moment without actually singling people out and going into your personal life, because no one wants more government in their life. But what you're saying or what you're insinuating is we want more government in our lives, opposed to saying, well, the people need to start taking more responsibility and accountability for what they do and what they purchase and how they keep it up. Well, that's my thoughts on it.
But either way, Bolo, the government's going to get involved, right?
Well, I mean, the government does get involved to a certain extent. Remember, the more the government gets involved, they don't give up those liberties once they take it. Remember that. When they decided to build the New World Trade Center, they didn't have enough money. They under budgeted, right? So what they did was they brought up the tolls to $25. $25, right? They never brought it down after the World Trade Center. The World Trade Center.
Wait a minute, you still paying $25 every time, Bolo?
There you go. Right? They never brought that price down. Yeah, you get a discount when you get the easy pass, but they never brought it down. The government never releases what they take. They continue to take and take and take. So if you're asking the government to get more involved, understand more freedoms are going to be taken, and they never give it back. Never.
I agree. My thing is, I'm just trying to look for a solution or a half a solution to all of these killing with registered weapons. I mean, the weapons that are being stolen and used, I mean, we can't, or sold on the black market and stuff. That is hard to regulate. But what we can do is, like I said, either we do something on the front end where we make it a little more difficult, make a couple more hoops for somebody to go through, or we work on the back end. And that's where it's coming to. It's going to get there where every place you go, they're going to have a metal detector. And if you have a weapon, you may be asked not to come in, or you may be asked to present your documents, and you will be identified as a person carrying a weapon.
Yes. The only problem is, to your point, though, like I said before, the only problem is that the only people who cares that's going to affect are the ones who are already being law-abiding citizens.
No, because the people that's carrying illegal weapons not going to go there because they know they're going to get searched.
Yes, they will.
Why would they go there?
Because you said that to go there, right, means that you can't carry a gun. So if they want easy pickings, it doesn't matter if they have metal detectors or not. How many people you going to have there to stop them?
I don't know. Whatever the place or business wants there. I don't know. I mean,
exactly. It costs it,
point.
and that's the cost, and that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get you to see.
Saying that is where we're going because of all the violence with the gun violence.
Yes,
I'm not saying that,
but the gun violence that you're talking about really and truly is as bad as as bad as this is about to sound about what I'm about to say. What I'm about to say is going to sound bad, but it's actually true.
Okay.
Right. This is one of those facts don't care about your feeling moments. Right. the amount of quote unquote gun violence that happens when you start bringing in school shootings and stuff like that is less than 3%. It's not. It's still a rarity. It's not the norm. It gets pushed in the media like this is the norm. But when you look at the overall numbers in regards to it, this has nothing to do about people losing their children and people getting hurt and everything else. My heart goes out to those people. And it really does. But when you look at it, it's a drop in the bucket than what you see happening in a weekend in Chicago, a weekend in Detroit, Baltimore, Houston, whatever the case may be. It's a drop in the bucket about how many people get taken out in those situations versus the occasional school shooting. This is what, and people don't like to say that, and they don't like to hear it, and it doesn't sit right with people because children are involved. Well, children are involved in those other situations too, but you don't see anybody trying to stop that. You don't see anybody saying, the gun violence this, the gun violence that, unless what? There's a super uptick. It has to do when people think, when these things happen in areas, like you said, when people think it's safe. Go look at a lot of those school shootings that happened. They were in semi-affluent to affluent neighborhoods.
Well, Ant, I mean, if the violence keeps increasing, and it is, something is going to have to give. And I'm saying that we're going to have to go to a more of a, we have to do deeper screenings for entering public facilities. We're going to have to if all these gun violence continues. It may not have be for like 50 years or 30 years, but eventually
you can't legislate morality, man.
But it's not about morality, brother. It's about dead bodies. I mean, eventually we got to do something to slow down the dead bodies.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Let me finish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Even though most of the gun owners are law-abiding citizens, most of them are, right? But it's that piece that's not, right? It's just like most men are not chomos. It's just that little piece that is. So there's things in place where even us as men, we're restricted from doing things because of this little piece right here, this little percentage right here that does those type of things. We gotta carry ourselves in a better way because of the things that they're doing, right? Even though most men are not chomo, most men are not crazy, most men are law-abiding citizens, right? But I'm saying that so now when you have like that and see the difference between a chomo and a gun owner is a chomo can be identified based on his behavior. A person that you won't find out until you find out, right? You won't find out that this person has a screw loose until they let you know they got a screw loose. And that's the chance that we taking if we don't do something to gird up against this gun violence. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying take the guns away from the law-abiding citizens. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is something has to be done. Would you agree or disagree?
I hear people say that same talking point, and I ask the question then, what more needs to be done. Because
that's
now,
what needs to be
and
figured
now,
out.
well, but like Bolo said, without accountability, right? And this is what people fail to understand. Freedom requires you to be accountable. True freedom requires a person, a group of people, or whatever the case may be, to have liberty. You need to have accountability and you need to have responsibility.
Okay.
If you don't have accountability and you don't have responsibility, and you're leaning on others to be your accountability and responsibility, you will get a dictatorship. You will get slavery and you will get bondage. That's what will happen.
Okay.
Okay. So when you say what more can be done, I have to ask you the question. I've laid out already what can be done or what has been done.
Well,
Now
I'm in agreement with
I can't say to you, right? You have to ask the question.
Okay, I'm in agreement with Bolo. Bolo says we have to hold the parents more accountable. I agree
Yes.
with that. I agree with that. That's one
Yes.
thing we could do. That's one thing we can do, right? But that's after the fact, right?
No, because
I'm talking
remember what I said. Remember what I said. Pretty much on all of these occasions, except for I think it was Sandy Hook, right? With the exception of Sandy Hook, I laid it out. The majority of these problems, the amount of lives that were lost and everything else, right, was because of negligence, not just on the parents, but also on the personnel who were at the school. It was negligence and some cases flat out cowardice.
Okay.
That led to people losing their lives.
Okay.
Can I add this to
And I do have something I want to add to, Jim.
Let me add this. Here's the crazy thing. The crazy thing is the people that talk about, taking, the hand, the pistols or whatever away. And I'm talking about the politicians, right? The people, the affluent people.
Check.
You know their kids, when they go to school, their kids have armed guards. Their kids don't go to school without armed guards.
Even after they out of office.
You understand what I'm saying? The point of the matter is that, again, accountability and responsibility. Cats better start understanding the difference. Accountability is you saying it's my fault that I did that. Responsibility is now you recompensing what you did wrong. That's the difference in the two. Okay. So, the people that, and again, we're speaking about the affluent people that talk about we don't need to have these. Every school should have cops there. A deterrent. Every school on the earth should have armed police officers there in the school, period. Why? Deterrent. So you know that if you come into that school to shoot, you're going to get shot back at. Yeah. It's not going to be, you have 5 minutes for 911 to be called. And then you have that, those officers that are, again, like Ant's saying, that are cowardice and don't want to go in there. Now that's a different situation. But the point of the matter is, again, what we're doing is, and when I say what we're doing, I'm speaking in general. What we're doing is we're moving. We don't want to take accountability and responsibility for the movements that are being made. I understand that there should be more screenings, more, metal detectors. Okay, we could throw all those things in. It still doesn't change the fact of accountability and responsibility of the people that have ownership of the weapons. That's the point. I'll give you an example. With all the grape that's being done on this earth, let's just say in America, all the grape that's being done, it's not a deterrent with with people being put in jail. You take that one person, okay, that has been, we know that he grape, we got video, we got this, there is no case against it. You cut his schlong off on 42nd Street on the big Teletron television, I guarantee you grape drops. Grape drops.
Yep.
But see, the way the system, it perpetuates that we can fix this every 4 years. We can fix this every 4 years. We can fix it. George Bush didn't need the government to go into war in Afghanistan. He went.
Yep.
He went into Iraq. He told them in the UN when he came to New York, we're going, regardless of whether the Senate gives us the okay or not. He went. So why?
And remember what his reason was for, Bolo?
I don't care. The point of the matter is, why is it everything else that benefits the people? Why is it that we got to go through red tape and go through all this madness? But when it benefits you, you can just do what you want.
Yep.
That's the point of the whole map. We got to start looking at what the real issues are. I understand that we have to deal with what we have to deal with, but that's my 2 cents.
And let me just add to that just a little bit. And we're living in a generation now. What we're seeing is a lot of the parents are allowing their children to isolate. You see what I'm saying? They go in their rooms, they shut the doors. We don't know what they're creating in there. You see what I'm saying? Then when they come out with something outlandish, we act like we're surprised. There has to be a certain monitor, going on in the home. We can't just allow our children just to be locked up in their room. You see what I'm saying? Never going in the room, never checking it. You see what I'm saying? If you live in my house, I've got to go inside of your room. You see, yeah, you deserve privacy. You deserve all of that. But at the same time, yeah, I may have to peruse through there when I get good and ready. Because I believe the negligence happens when a lot of these parents leave these children to fend for their own in front of gameplay and whatever they're doing in the room. You see what I'm saying? Concocting things, doing drugs and all kind of different things. So I believe it starts there. Just like Brother Ant said, hey, a lot of these accounts happen with the young people, that are in school. They're the ones that are bringing the guns there. And it should fall on the parents. Absolutely, what type of monitoring are we doing as parents? You see what I'm saying? When little Jimmy can come out the room and put on a trench coat, you see what I'm saying? Carrying a rifle to school. What part do we play in that? So yeah, I would definitely agree, on those terms that it should be some more monitoring in the home too. So I'll leave that there.
Okay, now when y'all say what y'all just said, I totally agree with you, but let's take it to the politics. There's a lot of people complaining about Kamala Harris about what she quote unquote allowed to do by putting the parents in jail for the truancy of the children. And everybody ran her up and dragged her all up and down the goddamn road for that. And believe me, and I've already said I ain't voting for it. But you got to understand what you're asking for. You got to make sure that you're willing to take that across the board. Because whatever they're going to do to them, you best believe they're going to turn around and do it to us. And it's going to be 10 times worse coming down our way. Just a thought.
Well, that's why, again, that's the whole accountability when you're setting these things up, right? You have to make sure that those things are in place. And that's why I'm not big on government involvement in everything and underscore. If your kids, for example, if your kids are truant and they're not going to school and you don't know about it, that's a problem.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's a problem. Now, if your kids are who should be responsible for that, right? And the responsibility should fall on the parents and should have nothing to do with the state. Why is that? Because you don't know why that kid is not going to school. So say like the one case where the kid wasn't going to school because she suffered from sickle cell, but they came and arrested them all and all this other stuff, right? That's blatant misuse of the law. But the deal is for those, when you understand that the reason why they were doing all that stuff and they came up with that law for truancy and everything else, it wasn't because of a lot of kids were missing school per se. It's that money is tied into kids being at the school.
For every head, they get a certain amount of money.
Right.
Yep.
So when too many kids are missing the too many kids are missing school. They're not getting that money that they wanted. So we need to make sure that there are certain things that will happen. It wasn't the fact that it was an uptick in crime or anything like that.
They was losing money.
It was losing money for the schools because the schools and the unions and all that other stuff, all of that gets tagged per head of kids. So when you look at these, but then again, that was government overreach. That should have never been a law. But because somebody that had a specific color of skin said that they needed to have it, and we're looking out for the best interest of the children, you get laws like this passed. And when these laws get passed, they infringe on the rights of people. And they infringe on the rights again, because that's what happens when government takes control. Little by little, they take as much as they can. That's why you see everything that happened in this election. And as a segue to that, when Vaughn asked the question, I couldn't speak out on it at the time, in regards, because I was taking care of some stuff at work. Yeah. But he asked the question, like, who should we vote for? I believe it was Scores that said, or maybe it was Bolo that said that, and I think one of them, but they were saying that you can't, neither one of these characters are righteous. And the answer to that is true. So if you look at somebody that's trying to lead you righteously, it ain't these cats. That's the truth. But I would advise you to look and see who is trying to bring you and trying to, because here's the deal. There are certain states that they're going to vote, and your vote is not going to matter to a certain degree because of the majority of people that vote
California, one of them.
ways. I'm even thinking right now, the way things are going, that might even be in debate. But the fact of the matter is, there are certain areas where they're going to vote nothing but red, and there are going to be areas that's going to vote nothing but blue, and all of these different things. And yeah, those things exist. But I will tell you this. You're not looking, when you go to vote, you're not looking to see who's the most righteous. You're not looking to see who's the most, you're not looking to see who's the most righteous and of the best moral character and all of those things, right? Would that be a plus? The answer is yes, that would be a plus, right? What you should be looking at is, out of both candidates, who will hold to the law of the land versus the other. Who will hold to what is to be? Because here's the deal: the president's main job is to enforce the Constitution. That's the president's main job. His president's main job is to enforce the Constitution of the United States and the laws therewith. That's what they're supposed to do. Now, they can choose if they believe that this law is not a law that's righteous or whatever else. Technically, they have the right on what they will enforce and everything else. But when you listen to, even in this whole situation, when you look and see who is upholding the will of the people, as far as the Constitution is concerned, that should go about setting who you should vote for. That's who you should. Are you someone looking to do things to give you stuff, or is it someone that's looking to make sure that they are enforcing what is already there? Any candidate that comes in and talks about how much they're going to give you is the wrong candidate. By far, it's the wrong candidate. So these things must take into consideration. Myself personally, I would never vote for Kamala Harris, ever. Has nothing to do with what color she is, whether she's a woman or not. No, nothing. Kamala Harris does not care about people. She doesn't. She does not care about the people. She'll tell you all of these policies that she'll talk about and everything else, and all of this stuff that she's going to give and everything else. But the fact of the matter is, she doesn't. It's been proven in everything that she's voted for. It's been proven in everything that she's helped sign into law. It helps. Everything that's out there proves that that if she got into office, you might as well just start closing your doors, locking everything up, and trying to get ready to move somewhere off the grid right now, because the cost of living for you is going to be astronomical. Why? Because she's big government. She's big government and will do everything she can, and she's a globalist. She will help to implement communism into this country on a grander scale. That's what she will do, because that's what she believes in. The whole "you will own nothing and be happy," she believes in all of that. Everything that she pushes is for all of that. The other one, he says a bunch of stuff. And everything else, he's always said it. He says stuff because he talks off the side of his dome. That's what he does. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at his policies overall, everything when he was last in office, you cannot like the man. You cannot like what he says. You cannot like anything that he's done. But the fact of the matter is, even when they was accusing him for tooth and nail and everything that he did, everything, with the exception of, I won't say everything, 92% of what he did, for the most part, was for the benefit for the people in the country. The tax cuts, all of those things like that. Thank you. Hold on a second. Tax cuts. The people will sit up there and, oh no, that was for the rich and blah blah blah. No. All of those things, when you look at where the economy went to, when you look at the non-restrictions that was put on everything, from the way that you do business, to the way that you even from the way that you even do things in as far as a religious basis, the freedoms and stuff that was offered to most people. When you look at all of these things, the benefits to people, the money that people had in their pockets, the cost of goods and services down, the whole 9 yards, right? When you look at all it was a benefit. It benefit Americans as a whole versus not benefiting Americans as a whole. You go who's doing things policy-wise right. Doesn't mean they do everything right. But if you're doing 90% of it right versus somebody that's doing 20% of it right, you want to go with the person that's doing 90. Doesn't matter what they say and everything else, and how bombastic they are and everything else. All of these different things. So think about that before you do. There's going to be a lot of people in a lot of key states and everything else. Vote for the person who has your best interest at heart, not for the person who's trying to buy you.
I don't see either one of them having the people's best interests at heart. The way they're going to affect the people is, like I said, with the Reaganomics situation. That's how they're
Who
going
had
to
Reaganomics?
You mean who had Reaganomics?
Who's doing Reaganomics?
I'm saying both of them are going to say, we're going to be doing things to help you. But remember, Reaganomics was, we're going to give rich people lots of money. We're going to put money out into the marketplace so that they can borrow it. Rich people can have an easily finance this money so that they can, because they're typically going to invest in business. When they invest in business, they're going to create jobs. Those jobs are going to move the economy. That's Reaganomics, trickle down economics, right? And so they both feel that way. They both feel that way.
No, they don't. Matter of
Which one
fact,
of them doesn't feel that way?
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris does not believe that. She is not that is not her. She does not. Go look at her. Go look at the things that she's voted for. I'm telling you, I'm saying these things so that everyone can go and see for themselves. Go look at what she's voted for. Go look at the policies that she's sustained. It is not about any of that. Trump stuff was basic. His wasn't even trickle down economics. His was basic economics. Period. You cut taxes, markets flourish. You add taxes, markets go down.
Well, that's basically
you should not.
thing.
No, it's not. Trickle down economics means I give a ton of things to corporate environments, and then corporate environments pass the savings. That's not this. His deal is cut unneeded taxes. Period.
For who?
Everybody. Everybody. Your tax rate on your tax rate under Trump was lower than what it was last year. Go look.
Bull jive.
Go look. Okay. You made more money. You made more money
Bull
because
jive.
you paid less taxes.
Bull jive.
Okay.
Not here in California.
That's different. You pay state taxes and all this other crap. That don't count.
But once again,
we're talking about federal. We're talking about federal. We're talking about Fed.
I ain't
talking about Fed.
No kind of
exactly. Why? Because you live in an area that steals your money.
Okay.
California steals your money.
They take 35. They take 33 and a third.
That's more than what you were paying. That's more than what you lost on the Trump.
Go
look it up. I'm not lying to you. Go look it up.
What am I looking up?
Go look at the tax rates or how much you paid per year. Go look. Go look at what you paid last year in taxes, the year before that, and then go back the other 4 years prior to that and see how much see what your taxes were.
Brother Ann. So what you're saying is we should vote for him basically on this fact alone about the taxes.
No, I'm saying you vote for
the only reason we should
vote for your, like Bolo said earlier.
No, I'm just saying because you're bringing that aspect of
because it's your best interest. I'm telling you this because this is your best.
What you're saying,
everything it all plays in. It all plays in.
Yeah, but it's got to be more than that, brother. Come on.
Both of them sitting up there trying to get rid of the middle class. One just a little bit slower at doing it than the other.
Well, no.
Okay, so then get on the bus. Then you have a choice. You get on the bus that goes faster or slower. Which one is?
I'm not getting on either one. I'm gonna stay my butt right where I'm at.
Yes, and by default, you're gonna go to the one that goes. You're gonna be in.
Well,
the
then
one that
I'll
goes
go up under what Vaughn said. I ain't depending on neither one of them knuckleheads for me anyway.
But here's the deal. My point behind it, you're going under a realm of who is more righteous than the other. I'm not talking about.
I'm not going up under a realm. Like I said, I'm under the belief of this. If I know you or Vaughn both ain't gonna benefit me none, one way or the other, I just stay right where in the hell I am. I have a better chance at that than sitting up there dependent.
That's
put
not
my
how
faith
this
in either one.
That's
You know what? That's
not how this works.
I get it, but you know what? This is what I was trying to go back to originally when I talked about Samuel and the people of God. This is why we in a position. My opinion. This just me. This is why we in a position we in now. This is why we sitting up there constantly sitting up there saying, "Men, we need the men to vote. We need the men to vote." Well, maybe the men are voting by not voting because they tired of sitting up there looking at the same stuff that they've been looking at for the last 50 to 60 years. We had a goddamn president 60 years ago that said, he said, go on and give it to them. We'll have them up under the Democratic thumb for the next 50 years. Has it changed? No. All they do is sit up there and play off of one another. They don't care about us. Neither one of them. They showed it. Yeah, we might get a few taxes here on the Republican side, but what are we losing off of it on that end? You're sitting up there saying because of what Kamala's running for, but you know what? She is doing what the people interest is. Look at what it is that they're voting for. Look at what it is that they're fighting for. Stuff that has nothing to do with how it's going to benefit our life one way or the other. Once again, like I said earlier, you cannot legislate morality.
I'm not,
People,
again, I'm not talking
no,
about, no, hold on.
but see, it all plays into part. You're talking about taxes.
No.
When you think, no, hold up, when you talk about who Kamala running, what she's standing on, the abortion rights, women rights, LGBTQ and all this other stuff that that goes without saying. But you know what? Look at the people that's on the religious left and the religious right, and look what they're fighting over. When it's already by the word of God, how it should be done, and nobody's paying attention to that. It's not gonna matter to this, just my opinion. Until we all stand, until the ones that true believers stand and return back to God and say, you know what, God, I ain't voting for neither one of these suckers. Period. Because this is a time that you're calling for us to stand on your word and your word alone. And if you're God, we're going to test you at your word like you told us to do. I don't care about no goddamn taxes because they constantly taking taxes regardless. I'm still poor. Whether Trump is in office or whether she's in office. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. And it doesn't, man, because every 4 years we up here arguing about the same goddamn thing. And nothing changes.
The thing is, the reason why stuff don't change, and to your point, I agree with what you're saying on the issues in regard, but I'm not talking about that. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. The reason why stuff don't change is because people, like you're talking about, have not educated themselves in how these things work in regards to the way that the politics going, and also in regards to how economics are and how they affect your daily life. Everything that Kamala talks about, for example, requires a government thing to be implemented. And in this government thing to be implemented is going to come out of your pocket in regards to taxes. So the way that a person can actually move about and be able to do things is to have more resources available to them and not by government handouts.
Well,
now, what you're saying, hold on. What you're saying about the taxes and everything else, there's a reason why people move from areas with high taxes. There are reasons why. You're probably getting more or just about equal what's being taken out of your check from your state to also what's being taken out of from the federal government. The reason I was saying what I was saying is so that you can understand and that the people can understand how these things work. Yes, God is in control. Yes, there are things that happen and that take place in regards to how they do certain things behind the scenes and everything else. But if he's called you to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, if he's called you to be wise, if he's told you how to do things in regards to things like economics and things in the book of Proverbs, you do yourself a disservice when you vote against your own interests. I'm not saying that the Republicans have all your quote unquote interests at heart and everything else. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, at what point in time do you look to do things that will help yourself versus doing things and saying, throwing your hands up and say, I give up? Well, then sit on your blessed assurance and just wait. Then it's up to you. People have the right to vote for who. Well, hold on. People have the right to vote who they want to vote for. I'm not saying, I'm not telling you who to vote for. All I'm saying is it comes down. All I'm saying is it comes down to who for you has your best interest. I'm not saying that they personally have your best interest at heart. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, for you, who is your best interest? Now, if your best interest is the government handouts, then vote for the person who's going to give you government handouts.
I didn't say that, and that's not what I said. All I'm saying
no,
is,
but when you
said earlier. Go ahead.
When you say that neither one of these candidates are going to do anything for me. Neither one of these candidates are, both of these candidates are garbage and everything else. Okay, both of the candidates are garbage. Well, I'm not going to do anything about it. It's going to go whatever. Okay, fine. So what happens if that people, what's to say that people, because apparently, remember, this is the same woman that literally could not get, even in the primary, a single vote.
You're absolutely right. And that's why I said when it comes to the presidency, I'm not voting for either one of them. I said votes are local and state.
That's cool.
Because in all actuality, they're the ones that's going to set up these policies for the taxes and all that anyway, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Nope. You get taxed on both fronts. You get taxed on both fronts. You get taxed on Fed, you get taxed on state, depending on what state. There's only a handful of states that don't have a state income tax. Everyone else does. And California has a big one.
Yep.
So you get hit every year with state and you get hit with local, state, and federal taxes. That's why.
And don't forget about the gas tax.
That's all part. That's your local, state, and Fed, right? So you're getting hit by all of that. Yes, you need to vote for your local. Yes, you need to vote for your state. Yes, those things need to happen. I'm not saying that, but you also have to look at that the people. Presidents have one job as well, to veto anything that comes across his board that he doesn't agree with. That's his job, to veto anything that comes across. And when that happens, you need a 3/4 majority in Congress to pass it after that. So if you have someone who is all about big government in play, and then your Congress passes big government legislation and it goes against that board, that's more taxes coming out of your pocket. If someone doesn't like big government and hates and more on the conservative bent per se, they will reject the big spending packages that come out. If it comes out as a law, they will nix it. And then it would have to go back to the Congress and then get 3/4 of Congress to pass it. Most of Congress stuff passed by a small majority. So now that forces everybody in Congress to push this through. Everybody's just about. In other words, it only a small majority of left that won't pass it through. The majority of Congress has to pass it. Both House and Senate has to pass it. They haven't done that in forever.
Can I throw something in there? Let me throw this in there.
No.
I think we're gonna get caught up and go down this rabbit hole. Right? I just want to read one scripture. This is Psalms chapter 11, verse 3. It says, "If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do?" And I think that we need to keep that in our minds. Right? We know the foundation of the earth is wicked. Right? So at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do to hold on until that which is perfect comes. That's what that scripture is saying. What can we do, brother? We're dealing with a solid piece of crap and a liquid piece of crap. So the only thing you can do is position yourself in a better position to put yourself in a better position to help your family and help those around you and perpetuate the gospel of God.
Carry a big can of Lysol around you.
You could do that. You can do that also. The point of the matter is not being a part of the system.
It's easy. Yeah, it's easy to, and it's also easier to move big solid than liquid.
Right. The point of that scripture is to say, listen, anything that you do is not going to fix the foundation. Foundation is broke. What can the righteous do? We have to figure this out so that we can hold on till that which is perfect comes. Again, me walking with a pistol is not the answer. I know that the answer is Christ, but the pistol gives me options. That's what it does. So I don't put my salvation in the pistol. It gives me options. You dig? So that's the point. So what Ant is trying to say, because again, if you open up the rabbit's hole, we'll be here all night talking about this, that, third, up, left, down. We have to keep Christ simple. We have to keep him simple, right? And again, I don't want to say it the way Vaughn hates to hear it. Vote for the lesser of two evils. So then you can pivot just a little bit and say, whoever's going to put you in a better position so that your money goes longer, so that you're able to pay your bills, so that you're able to take care of your kids in school, and you're able to push the gospel of how you're using your money to help the gospel, help people that need to get to the gospel, then move that route. That's what that scripture's there for.
And well, let me just say this, I prefer to be like Daniel. Listen, I'm not going to bow and I'm not going to kiss. You see what I'm saying? And just because you may throw a few coins my way, you see what I'm saying? It didn't make my life better. Because my Father, which is in heaven, owns 1,000 cattle on 1,000 hills, or however that scripture goes. So I'm not reliant upon your position. I'm going to render to Caesar what is due to Caesar, because that's my obligation. But my help, brother, listen, my help comes from God. So I'm not in a panic state right now. I don't need to rush out and figure out who I need to put, my vote on for that. I'm going to leave that in God's hands. I don't believe in voting for the lesser evil. Evil is evil. I don't want no part of it if I could help it. You see what I'm saying? I'm voting for two fangs on a snake. Which one is more potent than the other? You see what I'm saying? So, to each his own, though. And I get it. These conversations are what brings friendships to closure, because of the politics. If your politics are not my politics, then we can't walk together. You see what I'm saying? But do you serve the same God that I serve? Because that's how we need to walk together. You see what I'm saying? Our walk together is not based upon, what the world is doing, what the world systems are in place. Our walking together, you see, our agreement is based upon, hey, we follow Christ. You see what I'm saying? And I believe if Christ was sitting here, I don't believe he wouldn't want to have anything to do with either. So, that's where I'm at with it. Listen, everybody has their opinions, and I get it. I love to listen to these conversations because I'm learning a lot. Brother Ant has shared a whole bunch of different things that, that I could glean from. Brother Clarence, Brother Bolo, Scorched Earth, But when it all comes down to it, listen, I have to sit here in all honesty. You see what I'm saying? And say, honestly, I can't vote for neither one of them. I don't trust neither one of them. Well, which one do you trust the most? Vote for that person. But trust is a very good thing. It's a very serious thing to me. I don't trust them at all. So, my trust is in the Lord. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but no, because your whole life is going to be messed up if you don't vote for Trump. Damn Trump and everybody else that's trying to run for these offices that have neither one of them have my best interest at heart. So we could sit here and try to pretend and say that these people are going to be the answer for us. No, they're not going to be the answer for us. They're not. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So to your point, again, it's not about them being the best answer or even being the answer for you. This is not what I was getting at. I was not saying that. And like I said, I put it like this. I know you were. I know you were. You just.
I don't mean any harm, brother. I'm just sharing.
No. I'm not taking offense to it at all, or anything like that. What I'm saying is, and I think the crux of this whole thing is this. Like I told you, vote for whoever you want to vote for. Right. You vote whoever you want to vote for. Whatever is in your best interest. That's what I've said. But the one thing that is hard in many cases, And when people look at this, and I believe, and this is not a knock at you, Vaughn. It's not a knock at anyone on this panel and everything else. I think we look at a lot of things, even as believers, when it comes down to the how we do. I think we look at a lot of things with jaded ignorance. I really do. And the reason why I say that is because there's a level of different things that go down that once you're able to see it, then it's almost like, oh, okay. Yeah, now that makes more sense. But I think we get into we're dealing with, instead of having the overhead view of the forest, we're all in the trees trying to make moves. I think that's and that's why people when people start talking politics and everything else, they really have they get more into the feelings aspect of it versus to what just is. And that's why I was saying what I was saying earlier. It has to do with your best interest. Who do you believe at this whole point in time? Like I said, do I believe that they righteous? I don't believe none of them is righteous and everything else. The lifestyle doesn't lead to righteousness, right? I don't believe there's a lot. Matter of fact, for as far as I know of, even in Congress, there's I would say about 3 to 4 people that are basically would be considered righteous out of that whole thing. The rest of them, I've seen some of them go in and claim one thing, and then next thing you know, boom, just ridiculousness, right? Because their actions don't back up. They're not about that life. Their actions don't back up the words that they came out saying early. They fall by the wayside. And so when you have your quote unquote person that you're in many terms you're idolizing to make your moves behind, you now get into the worship of the code of personality. And I think that's more than anything is what our election process and everything else has turned into, is the worship at the code of personality. Doesn't matter what this person says, it doesn't matter what this person's track record is, it doesn't matter any of these things. It's how do they come across? Did they say the right things? Are they the fresh face? Or whatever the case may be, right? That's what you wind up seeing. Those are the things that you wind up coming across. And that's why I say what I said. It's you vote for what your best interest is in that regards. Why? Because a lot of people's interests are going to be in certain things. They believe that things should be more social and that government should do these things and government should do that and everything else, not understanding exactly what I said. The more government's involved, the less the people have the freedom of autonomy and the freedom and liberty to live their daily lives. It really does. So which candidate on both sections is going to put that forth to give you exactly what? It doesn't mean they're going to give you all of it or anything like that. The fact of the matter is, how is this person going to interact with the other branches of government to keep things in check instead of things being allowed to run roughshod? Are they both, like I said, are they both evil? Yes. You can look at it and you can tell by some of the stuff that they say and everything else. They're not a God. They're not. And if you're expecting them to be, the only person I knew out of all of the presidents, the only person that I knew, there's been 2. One was the Dwight D. Eisenhower, the other one was Calvin Coolidge, were the only ones that I knew of that professed Christ and then was about that life. But even the Dwight D. Eisenhower did things that he should not have done.
Man,
and went with stuff that he should not have done. Doesn't mean that he was more or less. He still proclaimed Christ, and he, for the most part, the stuff that he did overall kind of showed that. But there were things that he did that was not good, right?
Yeah.
But the one who walked that fine line for the most part and was in season, out of season, Calvin Coolidge. Go look it up. So everybody else, you had guys that were more super progressive and liberal. You had guys that were, hardcore turn the screws. I mean, and super conservative. And then you had but the majority of the guys that were in there for presidents, the majority of people that were in there for the most part were all moderates. They might have said they were on one platform or the other, but the majority of them are all moderates. It has not been since 2000 where you have seen that there has been no more moderates. For the most part, it's been way left or more not quite left. Right. But the person that's kind of sat in the middle, nah, that doesn't exist.
All right, y'all. I think
interesting.
We come to the point where we have to agree to disagree.
What?
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
And
that's how it should be.
These
topics,
topics
should be.
These topics are so dynamic, but we only have a certain amount of time to get through them. And if we really want to tell the truth and break them down, we really have to be here for a while to break it down. So we got this far today. Maybe we'll, as this election process moves forward, we'll be able to come back and still discuss different things about it, and where we're at now, and what do we see in this candidate and that candidate, and so on and so forth. Like I said earlier, there'll be other people on the ballot. You can vote for them. There'll be independents, a Green Party, or whatever party, or whatever, right? So you can vote for who you want to vote for. I'm just saying these two people are probably one of these two people is probably going to get the keys to the city, right? So that's what we have to think about. Okay. And like I said before, if you don't vote, if you just say, well, I'm just not going to vote at all, which a lot of black men do that. They just say, I'm not going to vote at all. Well, what you end up doing is it has the same effect as if you voting for the more popular candidate.
Wow.
So just remember that. I'm just saying, just remember that. Whatever you trying to do, remember that. Maybe that's what you want, right? So just remember that. Okay, so gentlemen, Vaughn, did you have something to say?
Yeah, just real quick. And let's not forget the children of Israel. You see what I'm saying? Because they had wicked leadership as well. You see? But their deliverance was not based upon that leadership, because God supersedes that. I just wish we could see that. I understand about the political space and all of that, but we have to see that God supersedes all of that. You see, that's where my help really comes from. I could play the political game and say, hey, let's vote for this Pharaoh or let's vote for that Pharaoh. You see, neither one of them have a heart toward God, but let me figure out which one, which one treats us better. You see what I'm saying? Okay, I could play that game. But when it all comes down to it, when it all boils down to it, my trust has to be in God, the one true God. Some people call him the Most High, Jehovah Jireh, my provider, Jehovah Elohim, the creatorial God. That's who I have to put it on. If the foundations be destroyed, what shall the righteous do? Well, you're going to have to keep trusting in God. See, because only what you do for Christ is going to last now. You see, on Christ, the solid rock, I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand. Put yourself on mute, brother. Brother Scorched. So that's, man, I get it, brother. And I know that you're very sincere, and, because you want us to have the best outcomes that we can have. I get it. But they're not going to give me the better outcome that I can get from God. You see what I'm saying? No, I just can't see them doing it. They would have to show me better, and it's already been proven that they can't do that. So I'm just saying, I get it, but in all honesty, man, I don't know. I don't prefer either one, and I kind of feel a little bad because the other topic, Brother Clarence, I don't think we really got to the gut of the topic about Tyrese, but maybe we can do that on another show.
Maybe we can do it again.
Part 2.
Maybe Sunday.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say that. But I appreciate everyone's opinion. Appreciate being on the panel today.
All right, thank you, Vaughn. All right, so gentlemen, we have to wrap it up, man. We gotta come to we gotta get our final closing thoughts out here so that we can wrap this puppy up.
Oh, wait, Brother Clarence, I'm sorry. Can we just do one thing and just dedicate maybe like 3 or 4 more minutes to this? I just wanted to give Brother Frankie Beverly some props today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, what a legacy.
James Earl Jones too.
Yeah. We'll do him too, but Frankie Beverly, the soundtrack to many.
Whoa! Hold up. Apparently, I've off on the out of the loop. The greatness, which is Frankie Beverly, passed away to the next plane today.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, this morning.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you didn't know
that. I did not know that. I knew about James Earl Jones for sure, but I didn't hear that.
You that way. Yeah.
Oh no, it's good to know.
I think he'd been sick for a while. I think he'd been sick because
I heard he was sick, but I didn't know he had I didn't know he had passed on to the next plane. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, this morning.
Oh.
And when you think of good music, and I know many of us on the panel, especially Bolo, all of us, I can't
happy people.
We grew up in an era where the music was fresh.
You scorched that song.
Thank you, Scorched.
What?
Thank you.
What?
Thank you.
I was trying to say something, brother. But listen, no. Let me just finish this, and just say, because great part of my life musically, was Frankie Beverly, man. Come on, you can't get no better than that. Even just the lyrics, the sound, the songs, the instruments, the rawness of the instrumentation of the group. It wasn't synthesized. It was natural. And there were lyrics, man, that you could just about sing in church because they weren't lewd. They were about love. You see what I'm saying? Before I let you go, joy.
I was getting ready to say that.
You see what I'm saying? Happy feelings. I believe we were on one Bolo show, and the Lord put it on my heart to quote that song, "The Golden Time of Day."
Oh, man.
You see what I'm saying? Man, come on, listen. We are one.
We are one, yes.
This is soundtracks to every step that we've made, gentlemen. I know us on the panel because we're a little grown. You see what I'm saying? While I'm alone, come on.
While I'm alone, yes, another good one. Yeah.
But I just wanted to. I don't know what your favorite was from him. I probably named it, but what a great loss, man. What a great loss. But what a legacy as well. You see what I'm saying? Oh, because even the young people are singing Frankie Beverly and Mays. The Beyoncés and all of them. You see what I'm saying? Man, God bless that brother, man.
Hey, man, I don't think any of us could put a bow or ribbon on or a cherry on top of that, man. Thank you, Vaughn, for that. Shout out to Frankie Beverly and his family, and Mays and their families, man. May the brother have had a smooth transition, and nothing but good things come after that. So, man, I was saying the same thing, Vaughn, yesterday, that Frankie Beverly had Mays had a situation just like the Isley brothers and the Ohio players and the Shy Lights. You know, back in the day, we just put the album on, and you just let the album play all the way through.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
man, by the halfway, you put the album on, and you sit on the couch, put your arm around your girl. By halfway through that album, things are happening. Things is happening, man. Things are happening, man. But it was all in love, man. It wasn't really
like you said, the morning after, right?
the morning after, just stuff that and like you said, Vaughn, it was really love songs. Wasn't no
Yeah.
vulgarness. Really, it was just love songs and
Yeah.
moving in love, right? Everything was done in love, man. So shout out to Mays, Frankie Beverly's family, and all of those people, man. May God touch them and bless them. All right, y'all, we got to get up out of here, man. We got to get up out of here. So we got to start doing some closing remarks. Okay. So why don't we let's let Scorch go, then at T-Biz, and then we'll go from there. Scorch, final words.
Yeah. Hey, be quiet, Bolo. Since I'm going to be the shortest one on here tonight, because I'm up
True.
a bunch of grand orators on the panel. Mainly Aunt Biz and Bolo. I can never take over their spot of how much time they take to talk. I see Vaughn try to come in every now and again and take up a little bit more time than he used to. And then Clarence, since it's his show, he has to make sure that he outlasts Bolo. So I ain't gonna say too much. All I'm gonna say is this. Good couple of topics. I had a lot to say about all of them because I think that this whole thing is all wound into one thing. And some people may understand when I say this, some may not. It all evolves around God and what he created from the beginning.
Agreed.
And this whole thing has been an attack from the enemy from the beginning.
Agreed.
You look at our political landscape, what do you see? They have propped up a woman up against a man. Whether we agree with that man or not, that's still showing you in the order in God, how God has it. The sad part about it is that we as believers, we are following down that same landscape. You turn around, you look into the situation with Tyrese. What do you have again? The institution of a godly marriage that will, whether we believe that was of God or not, that's neither here nor there. He chose her to marry her. She agreed. They dated 5 years before they even said I do. So hey, who are we to say what God has instituted and what he has not? We know he instituted marriage between a man and a woman. Once again, what do we see being attacked? Marriage. You go into the landscape of our churches today. You got Ivy Hilliard's wife moving permanently to Florida because of health issues. Now they saying there's other things going on, but my question is, where in the hell is the husband at? See, we talk so much about the responsibility of us as men or what it is we're supposed to be doing, but we seem to forget when it comes to a marriage, the woman is a helpmeet to that man. When you talk about Ephesians 5, 1 Corinthians, all these scriptures that talk about what the husband is supposed to do, 1 Peter 3 and 7, your prayers will be hindered if you don't do A, B, and C. But I'm sorry, even from the beginning of Eden, what did Satan do, y'all? He went and spoke to the woman. Now we both know that the man Adam told Eve what God said. What did she choose to do? Listen to the serpent. This is an attack, y'all, on the marriage. When Jesus said he's coming back, who is he coming back for, y'all? His bride. That means us, the body. when you look into into Ephesians and where it says, love your wives, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, giving himself up, teaching her according to her knowledge and this and that. So when you put her before you, she's spotless and unblemished. What do you think Jesus is coming back to? Look at us. We can't even get on one accord when it comes to who we're going to vote for as a political pundit. We all out of order. What has Satan done? He set it up. You got more women walking around here saying that they called to be pastors, bishops, and everything else. All you got to do is go to 1 Timothy, and it tells you who's supposed to be what's the qualifications for it. Bolo said accountability and responsibility. That goes both ways. We got women walking around here willing to vote for this woman because of the fact of what it is that she agrees with. Things that is against God. This is what I'm saying. This is why I said I ain't voting for neither one of them, because none of it has nothing to do with what it is that I believe and stand for. And as Bond said, that's when it comes time to where you have to be like Daniel maybe and just say, you know what? Meshach, Reshach, and Abednego. Hey, whether he's God or whether you think he's real or not, I'm still going to stand with there. You can throw me in this hot fire, but I'm still going to go in this hot fire serving him, standing on his word. And it's not easy. It's not. But I think that right now, we say we men, maybe it's time that we really start standing on God's word and what his word truly stands for. And then see him do what it is he said he was going to do, because we as men decided to say, you know what, forget all this. I'm standing on your word and your word alone, God. Because the whole head is sick. You go to the church house is screwed up. You look at the leadership in the screwed up. You go to individuals' home, ain't no man in the house, so therefore, how can you blame a man? You got the women walking around here talking about that they the men in the women. So now we give them preference because of the fact that, hey, they doing a job that the men won't do. Do we really know that to be true? Are we in everyone's lives? No, we not. So that's why Brother Vaughn sits up there and say, I'm gonna stand up on God. It's gonna have to come to a point, y'all, that we just gonna have to stand and look at God's word for what it is and say, you know what? I'm standing on this. Because I've done it my way. I followed the crowd. I followed and listened to the preacher man. I followed and listened to the requests and saying, yeah, I'm saving money. At what cost? What profits a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul behind it? Well, we think because of the fact that it goes for us too. He's calling us to a higher standard, y'all. We preach it all the time. Clarence, Brother Clarence, at Biz, Bond, Bolo, me, we preach it the whole time. And look at us. We can't come on one accord when it comes to God against man. Politics. You know what God's word was too during the pandemic? In the ground. Because the minute them politicians came out there and said, you got to close your doors, what happened? The doors were shut. What was God's word at then?
Scorch.
Yes, I'm done. I'm sorry. I took too long. Sorry.
I mean, man,
we're the long-winded ones, right?
Me.
Listen to this one.
Me and Vaughn and Bolo, we're just about to welcome you into the Long Strokers Club, man.
He's in, brother. He's in.
He's
in.
Man,
I've been in, man.
He's in. He's in.
Ay. Thank you, Scorch, for coming up, man. Always a pleasure, brother. You always got some good takes, man. Appreciate you. Even if you come sideways with them, Yeah, always good takes, man. Appreciate
Hey,
you,
that's
brother.
my name, Sideways Scorched.
All right, man. If y'all want to see more Scorched Earth, man, strong brother, you can see him over at Bolo TV, The Village, man. All right, Scorched, I'm gonna put you down, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. All right. I pulled Scorched down, okay. And then it was 4, right? All long strokers, man. All right, we're gonna have to figure this out, man. We got well, maybe if I break it up, maybe let me let T-Biz go. Let me Ant go.
Well, listen, I've already said quite a bit, so I can go ahead and step down and just say good night to everybody. Appreciate being on the panel tonight. A lot of good topics were brought up. A lot of good points were made, and thank you, Brother Clarence, for opening up this forum for us to discuss.
Always, man. Always, brother.
Peace. Peace, my G. Peace, my G.
All right, that's
have a good one, Vaughn.
Good dude, man. Good dude, man. Some of y'all don't really even realize, man. Like some of these brothers, man, they behind the scenes, man. They just good brothers, man. I mean, sometimes I have to take a deep breath, man, and to believe the blessing I have and running into such good people, man. You know what I mean? But maybe I'll be able to tell God to his face, man. All right, let's see. Let's go T-Biz, then Bolo. I think Bolo will get T-Biz in the long stroking department. So let me let T-Biz go first.
Well, I'll just say this. Great conversation tonight.
Yes, sir.
I wish I could have been more of a part of it. But hey,
yes,
sometimes work takes over the show.
Strong in it. You were definitely strong in it, that's for sure.
But yeah, I thank you guys for allowing me to come up. It was great. Fawn, Scorch, Bolo, of course, and you two, Brother C. I mean, you the conversations have to be had, right? And so because of that, you only can gain clarity if you have a variety of thought, right? Anytime you're in an echo chamber, an echo chamber just basically, it doesn't allow you to think. It allows you to inflate your ego. So with that being said, we have people that, in certain things, it'll require you to take stock of your points and not only take stock of your points, but also to hear other points of view. So, I mean that it's a blessing to be able to have the conversations and then to walk away. And so, all I would tell you guys is have a great rest of your night and y'all take it easy, man. So,
all right,
look forward to seeing you guys. Good.
My G, and see you in the AM, baby.
All right,
bro.
When's the next time we're gonna see you, Ant?
It'll be tomorrow morning for sure. And I am shooting to have the show back. I've been dealing with all kind of things from work to even being sick. But the Redeeming the Time show should be back next Thursday. I'm saying it here on your channel first. So there you go. So next Thursday night, for those that want to know, it'll be around 8 p.m. Central, I believe it is. Now, if you're doing a show, I'll move it. But if you're not doing the show,
no, brother. No. No, I'll be watching y'all. All right, that's our brother T-Biz, man. Another good brother, man. I was blessed to run across, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. When he says you can see him tomorrow, that means on Bolo TV, The Village. So you'll be able to see him tomorrow on Bolo TV and The Village. All right, Brian, I'm gonna put you down, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, have a good one, man.
Always good takes, as always. All right, that was brother T-Biz. Now the rest of y'all, you put some chicken in the air fryer, turn it on about 20 minutes, man, and just by the time Bolo's done, maybe the chicken be done.
Maybe. You wrong, brother. You wrong. You were so wrong for that. You're so wrong.
This is the race between the two longest strokers. Who's the longest stroker, me or Bolo? right? I don't know. We gotta
Woo!
figure that out. Or Ant. I mean,
Ant is definitely on Mount Rushmore.
Ant is definitely there, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, he is definitely in the conversation. So I don't know, man. I might have to see a couple more of his performances. I'll be like, no, wait a minute. Ant is at the top of the hill here. But we don't have Patrice here. That's another long stroker too. So we don't have Patrice here. So maybe
Patrice. Yeah.
All right, big brother. What do you think, man? What is your final thoughts on everything we've been talking about?
Well, we had a good conversation, and again, you know, these conversations you can get. It's very easy to get lost in the sauce of these conversations, man.
Yeah,
it's very easy. So, you know, I kind of understand Vaughn's perspective and understand Big Ant's perspective. Yeah. And what's good about having a conversation is, it broadens your horizons to understand and look at things from a panoramic standpoint, to looking at everything instead of just looking at it linear, because there's nothing static. Everything is in flux, right? Yeah. So again, there was a reason why I pulled out that Psalm scripture. You know, in a wicked world, what can the righteous do? Yeah. What can you do? So we already know that none of them is going to bring forth righteousness. We already know that. Yeah. We already know that it's a sleight of hand game. We know that too. So we don't go into this not knowing this, right? So, you move according to what, where you need to be and how, whatever person can move your money long enough. Because that's basically what it boils down to. That's basically what the conversation was about without having the conversation. That, inflation has gone up. The more money that you give to, welfare and all these things, the more inflation goes up. That's common sense, because the federal government has to pay for those things. And who winds up paying for it? Middle class. So, you're looking at where you can be positioned until that which is perfect comes, right? Until the Most High comes back and set this whole place on fire and brings us back to righteousness. So that's my standpoint on it. And it's always been, and it's not going to change. At the end of the day, we're holding on till he comes back, period. So how do we function, and what do we do, and how do we do it as a family? And that's it, man. Don't get caught up into thinking that any of these guys are going to change anything or bring righteousness. Understand that they are still functioning in the world. They're functioning in the world. So, any blessing that you get, the Lord tells you in the scriptures that he shall cause your adversary to entreat you well. It has nothing to do with them. And this goes into what Vaughn was saying. It has nothing to do with them. It's the Lord entreating you well, like he did with Joseph, right? He didn't know that curse that he thought it was a curse would wind up being a blessing. So that's the thought process that we need to move into it, moving through it through the lens of God. See, that wasn't long, was it?
No, man, I was surprised.
You see what I'm saying?
My chicken wings ain't even halfway done yet.
Chicken wings ain't even halfway done. But I got a question for you. Here's my question. I haven't asked you this in a long time, so I'm going to ask you today. Have you cleaned the belt?
Huh? What? What? Hey, Bolo, you got a problem on your end, man. I mean, I can hear you.
I'm sure
you. If you can hear Bolo in the chat, well, never mind. Never mind if you can hear Bolo in the chat. Never mind. I can't hear Bolo.
Okay.
Saying something.
I'm saying something.
But you know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
It reminds me that the people are hungry.
Yes.
They want to know. They want an answer. Who has more talent? Me or the Bolo? The people are hungry.
People want to know. I'm telling you.
And brother, we can only hold them off so long.
I've been trying to tell you, brother. I've been trying to tell you. I'm studying Socrates. I'm studying Socrates, Plato.
Okay.
Calculus, all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
What you want to go.
Pythagoras in there, and
all that.
All that.
All that.
Euclid, all that.
All that.
Hey man, is all that one word? All that.
All that. Yes,
Okay.
it's one word.
It's one word.
ALLAT.
See, he got me already on that, man, because he's a scholar. He knows that all that is one word. See,
Boy.
we will come to the and like I always tell you, man, I love you, man, but I'm not gonna let that. I'm not gonna let that stop me from just abusing you with this mathematics. I'm not gonna let it stop me.
I understand, brother.
And then I want you to be like, but Claire, I understand you had to rain blows on me like that. You had to. I understand. I understand. It was necessary. The people wanted to see that.
Right. All right. People wanted to see it. People want to know. The people are tired of waiting. People want to know, man. The people want to know.
That's what I'm saying, man. I can only hold them back so long, Bolo. I can only hold them back so long. So I'm trying to get my life together, man, so we can get this done. We can get this done. You know?
We're gonna get it done, brother. We're gonna get it done.
Okay, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done.
When are you doing the book bag drive?
I don't think we're gonna do one this year because school already started. Last year we did one at school, but I got a brand new computer we got to give away. I got a brand new computer we bought. I got to get that away. I mean, it's sitting right here with the bag and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So we got to do something. But what I was thinking, because the person we were working with to do the giveaway, she kind of ran on some hard times, man. So, and that kind of made things kind of run uphill. So what I was thinking is, I'm trying to set up our first, talk to the youth. I'm trying to set that up. And I'm hoping that maybe that could be like something we give away at our first, talk to the youth. You know what I'm saying? We could give away the computer in the bag and everything.
Right.
Like a little raffle up there, right? So
well, I'm there, brother. All you got to do is let me know the time and the date, and I'm there.
Man. Trying to put together, man. Your brother's working on some things behind the scenes, so we, we're working on it, man. But yeah, man, that's where we're at with that. When's the next time we're gonna see you, brother?
You are going to see me, Lord willing, tomorrow morning, 7:00 Eastern Standard Time, and then again tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. All right. So we can go over there to the village now. You guys come over here. You know that we have much more. It's still faith based, but it's not as faith based as.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, because some people really want the faith based. They want to know that somebody that's on the panel can just turn the book and say, let's go to Psalms, let's go to Ephesians, let's go here, let's go. Some people want to know that, right? They come from both places.
But you've done that.
Yeah, but you guys are more into that, as far as like you guys have the same kind of conversations, but you guys can a lot of times back up your positions with more scripture than we just do it here. We'll just go to Google or something like that. Every now and then, right? Every now and then we will bring up some scriptures, right? Every now and then we'll bring up some scriptures, because a lot of times I don't want to offend the people that because there's some people that think because you Muslim, you're supposed to not delve into the Bible. You're not supposed to read that. That's forbidden reading for you. And so I just say, okay, let me let Bolo handle that, because I know Bolo, they're not going to do that with him. They're gonna have their eyes wide open when they go over there and see him. But sometimes I will, right? I have you guys over here, and sometimes I will, or sometimes I'll do it by myself. It don't matter. But like I said, sometimes I feel like they get the best of both worlds from us. When they want to just have more of a straight talk, they'll come over here. When they want to have that a biblically based talk, where the Bible is right there by somebody's right hand, they'll go over there. So I feel like they're getting them both out of everything. And sometimes they get the Bible over here too. So,
I agree.
whatever. Whatever. Whatever.
Hey,
Long as
you long stroke that one, brother.
you know what I'm saying, y'all. Both of us are gonna pull you out the water, whatever way. And if one gets away from me, Bolo will pull him out. One gets away from him, I'll pull him out. So we're gonna both try to get you out, pull you out or throw you that knife thing. But you got to grab onto it, and then you got to swim and fight yourself to get across to the land. All right. Anything else, brother?
Nah, brother. Have a blessed day. Blessed night rather, and blessings to everyone that took part and everyone that was listening and all those that catch it on the repeat. May God cover you guys and keep your eyes open and bless your home and keep you guys safe. That's it.
Man, I
Thank you,
second
brother,
that.
for allowing me up here. I love you, brother, and
Always.
holla.
I love you too, man. But I ain't gonna cut no corners on you, man. But
Peace out, my G.
Brother, I love you. All right, see you later. All right, that was Brother Bolo, man. Okay. Now, I'm not gonna long stroke tonight. I'm just gonna tell you real quick. I appreciate everybody that came on this panel. We had Scorch, we had Aunt T Biz, we had Vaughn, and we had Bolo, man. Everybody made such an impact, right? But Clarence, y'all never said that but we're not only supposed to get you to think. We're not supposed to give you your answer to everything. You know that? We're not supposed to give a direct answer to everything. We're supposed to make you think, open up your minds, right? You got one brother coming this way, one brother coming that way, one brother coming this way, and you're supposed to go check us out for yourself. Check out the things we're saying for yourself, right? Put it to the test, right? So well, you guys didn't give me a direct answer who I should vote for. No, we wasn't supposed to do that. That's not our job. Our job was to make you think about who you're supposed to vote for. What is going to make you decide who you're going to vote for? Now, this is an important election, right? This is kind of election where you got to decide, man, really not who's for you, because I don't think any of them is who. That's my opinion. I don't think any of them are for you. I think you got to think who's going to do the best job for you. What are you going to? Who's going to give you the most gains, the most positive outcome, right? Which one of these people is going to give you the most positive outcome in the next 4 years, based on the economy, based on really basically is the economy, because that drives everything, right? So you got to decide. Now, I will give this to Trump. Trump's a tax cutter, right? He cuts taxes. Now, when you cut taxes and you have budgets, you got to go get that money from somewhere else. So where is he getting that money out? Where is he getting the extra money from to cover the taxes that have been cut? That maybe need to be looked into, right? And that what's her name? Kamala Harris, she's a Democrat, and Democrats typically, well, there you go, and tariffs. Now, if he could get it there, cool, that would be no problems. Problem is, how is he going to be able to cover that? Because the people you trying to put tariffs on, they don't need our market. They don't need our market to make money. They don't need those things. So they could easily pull anything they sell in in the American market out of the American market easily. So are we going to still get the tariffs? So that's the thing, man. We hopefully he would get it on the tariffs, because he did say he was going to charge the Chinese. He said he's going to kill the Chinese on tariffs, right? Right. So hopefully he could get it that way. Hopefully he could get it that way. But what if you don't? Then what? Right? Remember George Bush? No new taxes. About 8 months later, guess what? New taxes, right? Right. So, anything's possible out here, man. But the point is, man, look at your situation, look at your financial situation, and look at these people, man. And I would try to find out what they're talking about now. I wouldn't so much go off their past. I would see what they're talking about now. People change, right? And Kamala Harris voted a lot of stuff because she had to roll with the car. Now she's gonna be the big boss. She ain't got to roll with the car no more. She can do what she want to do. Donald Trump could do what he want to do. He already been in that seat. So you got to listen to what they saying nowadays. Anyway, y'all, we ain't going to take a long time, man. I enjoyed everybody that came up here, man. We had a great time. Everybody in the chat did great. We just had a good time, man. I wish we could get more of a diverse crowd in here so we could try to teach, but that's okay. We just sharpening each other up for when we have to go out into the field and talk, right? Because who knows, one day YouTube might come in here and separate us all, right? Clarence, you can't talk to Bolo, you can't talk to Ant, you can't talk to Scorched, and you can't talk to Vaughn, and we all can't talk to, none of y'all can talk to Clarence, none of y'all can talk to Vaughn. Well, none of us can talk to each other, right? We'd be forced to talk on our own, but we have the influence of each other to have a little bit, we have a little bit of each other in each other, right? So that we can see and yet understand different perspectives, but at the same time putting our perspective out there, but not in a disrespectful way, in a way that, you know, the other person can get it. All right. And said he did it last time. They won't be American market is too gigantic. No. And China does not need our money. They do not. They own so much of the real estate here, man. If they just foreclosed on what they already owned, oh my gosh, man. They own most of the major cities in LA. I mean, excuse me, in America, right? He said, good show, my guy. Have a great night. Yeah, thanks, Ant. Man, appreciate you, man. Appreciate all of you guys, man. Appreciate all of you guys. Let's come back and talk about it again, man. I think maybe we ought to have a politics show, man. Me, Bolo, Ant, and Vaughn. Vaughn is just going to say vote for God, right? Scorch and Vaughn is just going to say vote for God. We'll see. All right, y'all. Peace. We'll see y'all probably on Sunday. Peace.